You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Press 399 to stop the event. Starting streaming now.
You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball. Texas Rangers Radio Network. You are online for Texas Ranger Baseball.
Stations, you're online for Texas Rangers Baseball. Your following time check will be 10 minutes till air on my mark stations in 3, 2, 1, mark. 10 minutes till air stations.
This is the Texas Rangers Radio Network. 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 This is the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stations, you're online for Texas Rangers baseball. Your following time check will be exactly 5 minutes till air on my mark. In 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 minutes till air. Stations.
This is the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stations, you're online for Texas Rangers baseball. Your following time check will be 4 minutes till air. In 3, 2, 1, mark. 4 minutes till air. Stations.
This is the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stations, you're online for Texas Rangers baseball. Your following time check will be 3 minutes till air on my mark. Stations, 3 minutes in 3, 2, 1, mark. 3 minutes till air, stations.
This is the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stations, you're online for Texas Rangers baseball. Your following time check will be 2 minutes till air on my mark. 2 minute stations in 3, 2, 1, mark. 2 minutes till air, stations.
This is the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stations, you're online for Texas Rangers baseball. Your following time check will be 1 minute till air on my mark. Stations, 1 minute in 3, 2, 1, mark. 1 minute till air, stations. Thirty seconds.
New season, new players, new excitement. That is Texas Rangers Spring Training Baseball. Unbelievable! Today's game on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network is presented by Farmers Insurance, Blue Bell Ice Cream, Blue Diamond Almonds, and Geico Insurance.
From Hohokam Park in Mesa, Arizona, it's the Texas Rangers against the Chicago Cubs. Hello there, everybody. This is Eric Nadell along with Dave Barnett and our engineer Julio Alvarado. And it's almost a packed house here in what I believe is the largest park in the Cactus League. The Rangers and the Cubs doing battle for the second time this spring. The Cubs won the first meeting 10-4 over in Surprise on the 27th of February. It's another beautiful day in Arizona. We do have a light overcast, just a little bit of haze in the sky, the temperature in the low 70s, and at the moment, no breeze at all blowing here in Mesa. Lefty Matt Harrison will be on the mound for the Rangers, a 23-year-old from Stem, North Carolina. Coming off 3 innings against the Cleveland Indians on Monday, will be making his 3rd appearance of the spring. He's given up a total of 5 runs in 4 innings. But against the Indians on Monday, he turned it around after a shaky first outing and pitched rather well. Lefty Sean Marshall will be going for the Cubs, a 26-year-old from Midlothian, Virginia. He's in the competition to be Lou Pinella's number 5 starter this year. The Rangers have won 4 of their last 5 ball games. They are now 6-4 for the spring. They beat the White Sox yesterday in a very well-played game, 2-1, while the Cubs come in with a record of 5-7, and they have lost 5 consecutive games. The lineup cards are being exchanged at home plate. We'll have those lineups in the first pitch of game number 11 of the spring right after this on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Janine Marks, the 12-year-old, was fairly normal. She spent a lot of time online. One day, she met a new friend. The new friend had the same problems at home. They liked the same bands. They worried about the same subjects in school. They promised to keep each other's secrets. They wished they went to the same junior high. The new friend had good news. He said he was going to be in Janine's area one Saturday. He thought it would be amazing if they could just hang out, go to the mall. Janine agreed. The new friend didn't want parents messing this up. Janine showed up alone. So did her new friend, who wasn't in junior high, wasn't nice, and wasn't a 14-year-old boy. Every day, children are sexually solicited online. Help delete online predators. Call 1-800-THE-LOST or visit cybertipline.com to learn how to protect your kids' online life. A message from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the Ad Council.
Hey, Graham, what are those purple footsteps?
I don't know. Let's follow them.
This one says PAD. What's that?
Peripheral arterial disease, or clogged arteries in your legs. It says PAD raises the risk of heart attack and stroke, especially if you're over 50.
Do you have PAD, Graham?
I don't know, but I'm sure going to ask my doctor about it. Now, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Follow the purple footsteps at www.aboutpad.org to learn more. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Son, underage drinking is dangerous.
I know.
Teenagers know everything, so start talking before they're teenagers. Learn more at stopalcoholabuse.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Here's the lineup for Ron Washington today. Ian Kinsler at second base leading off. David Murphy batting second in left field. Michael Young hitting third today, playing third base. Josh Hamilton will be the cleanup batter. Hamilton in center field. Marlon Byrd is in right field batting fifth. Chris Davis, the first baseman, hits sixth. The seventh place hitter is the catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia. Elvis Andrus is the shortstop. Andrus is batting eighth. And in the National League Park, Matt Harrison is the number 9 batter. Harrison, the pitcher, is batting ninth. So it's Kinsler, Murphy, and Young, Hamilton, Byrd, and Davis. Saltalamacchia, Andrus, and Harrison against the Cubs lefty, Sean Marshall. For Lou Piniella, starting his third year as the manager of the Cubs, Alfonso Soriano gets the nod in the leadoff spot, the former Ranger in left field. Ryan Theriot is the shortstop. Theriot batting second. Derek Lee plays first base. Lee is hitting third. Milton Bradley, the former Ranger, is in right field. Bradley, the cleanup batter. Aramis Ramirez will be the third baseman. Ramirez is batting fifth. Reed Johnson plays center field, and Johnson is batting sixth. Hitting seventh at second base, Aaron Miles. Batting eighth, the catcher, Coy Hill. And the number 9 batter is their pitcher, Sean Marshall. So it's Soriano, Theriot, and Lee. Bradley, Ramirez, and Johnson. Miles, Hill, and Marshall for the Cubbies, who are taking the field right now. Not exactly sure why they are so late in getting out onto the diamond, but they are taking the field right now, and they are wearing their full uniforms, just as the Rangers are in spring training. The Cubs forego the spring training batting practice tops, and they wear their home white pinstripe uniforms with that Cubs logo on the left side of the chest. They wear the blue cap with the red C outlined in white, and of course they have the actual Cub on the left sleeve. The Rangers in spring training this year wearing their blue mesh jerseys every game with Texas in white block letters across the front, the names and numbers on the back, the Texas flag on the left sleeve, and gray pants with a double stripe down the side, a red and blue stripe forming the piping, and the Rangers wearing blue caps with the white tee and the red cap. So Hohokam Park, a place that generally has a little more life to it than some of the other stadiums in the Cactus League, and it seems to be alive today, although these Cubs fans can get a little frustrated even in spring training, and their team has lost 5 games in a row. I imagine they're about ready to see a Cubs victory.
It does feel a little bit like Wrigley Field transplanted to the Southwest, at least in terms of the makeup of the crowd, the energy of the crowd. They have every bit as much Cubs memorabilia on as if we were in Wrigleyville. So the 5-game losing streak, all close losses, all decided by 1 or 2 runs. And Cubs will have just about a packed house to try and help them end that streak today against a Ranger team that has won 4 of its last 5.
Well, there are some seats available up in the corners here, and there are about 30 rows of seats here. Many of the spring training stadiums only have 20. And here at Hohokam Park, there are also actual bleacher seats in the corners in foul territory, and the berms are really jam-packed out in the outfield. Ian Kinsler leads it off against the lefty Marshall, and the first pitch is outside. 66 degrees is the official game-time temperature. 1-0 to Kinsler, batting right against the lefty. It's in there for a strike. Brian Gorman, the veteran umpire out of the University of Delaware in his 18th season, is calling the balls and strikes. Gary Darling at first, Brian Kelly at third. We have a 3-man umpiring crew today. The pitch to Ian is outside, a changeup. It's 2-1. Marshall works off the third base side of the rubber, the right leg slightly in front of the left leg. Has a compact motion, but a pretty high leg kick. And Kinsler swings, and it's a 2-hop skipper out to the third baseman, Aramis Ramirez. Across the diamond in time. And Kinsler is retired. Ian came into the game hitting .350 for the spring. Ramirez at third, Terrio at short, Miles at second, and Derek Lee is the first baseman with Coy Hill catching today. Alfonso Soriano out in left field, Reed Johnson in center, and Milton Bradley is in right for the Cubs. David Murphy is next, hitting .364 for the spring, a homer, 5 RBIs. Lefty against lefty, and the pitch is a strike. The reason for the juggling of the Ranger batting order, the fact that for the first time this spring, the Ranger pitcher has to hit. The last time we played in a National League park, they let the Rangers use the DH as the Diamondbacks decided to do the same. And now Murphy lifts a long foul into the left field corner and back out of play. It is 0-2. But today, the pitcher having to bat ninth, and Hank Blaylock is not here. The Rangers not having the DH. So Josh Hamilton moving down to the 4 hole today, and Michael Young batting third with Murphy inserted in the 2 spot. David hit a home run yesterday, breaking a scoreless tie in the 5th inning. And right here he has the bat sawed off in his hand and hits a little dribbler right back to the pitcher, Marsh. A flip over to first, and Murphy's out. 2 up and 2 down. Marshall, a big man, at 6'7", 220. Last year with the Cubs, he had 7 starts, 27 relief appearances. He was 3-5 with a .386 ERA, and he's one of 4 or 5 pitchers battling for the number 5 spot in the Cubs rotation, and he's off to a good start. He's given up just 1 run this spring in 5 innings and seems to have the inside track for that job. Here's Michael Young, and the fastball sails outside. It is ball 1. Dave Anderson, the third base coach. Gary Pettis, the first base coach for the Rangers. Crowd still filing in here to Hohokam. Cubs training here for the 31st year. The pitch swung on, and a little tap foul off to the right. Behind home plate here, there's a small Cubs logo, the red C with the blue Cub painted inside it. And to each side of that, the Mesa, Arizona logo. A red, yellow, and blue mountain above the Mesa-AZ. The pitch swung on, and a ground ball hit hard, but right to the shortstop, Terrio, a skimmer, over to first in time. And on 3 ground ball outs, Sean Marshall has retired the Rangers in order to start the game. After a half an inning, it's the Rangers nothing, and the Cubs coming up on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Are you tired of your garage being substituted for a storage building? If the answer is yes, then Mueller can help. From small workshops to big barns, Mueller's Standard Series buildings are ready to go to work for you. We call them the Standard because they have set new benchmarks for quality and flexibility, and their 100% bolt-together design makes them easy to assemble. Visit us at MuellerInc.com to view our interactive color selector tool, or call 877-2-MUELLER to speak with a sales representative.
Detours, blind U-turns, and winter in Siberia.
No! Oh, God. Are you freaking kidding me?
Must be a new amazing race. CBS tonight.
It looks like rain, they all agree. Hope it won't come our way. Step outside, surprised to see a beautiful sunny day. Leave behind my old umbrella as I step into another patch of sunshine pouring down on me. Maybe it's my lucky day. When the weather's cooperating, it means there's just no waiting. Gotta get going, 'cause maybe it's my lucky day.
Play Lotto Texas from the Texas Lottery and take advantage of it Texas style. Drawings are Wednesdays and Saturdays, and right now the estimated annuitized jackpot is over $20 million. So play Lotto Texas today.
Maybe it's your lucky day.
For detailed game odds and information, visit txlottery.org or call 1-800-37-LOTTO. Must be 18 or older to purchase the ticket. The Texas Lottery supports Texas education.
The Ranger tickets are on sale now. The box office is open. Individual game tickets on sale. Give them a call at 972-RANGERS. Go to TexasRangers.com or show up at the ballpark and pick up your Ranger tickets for 2009. Alfonso Soriano, wearing that familiar number 12, steps in to start the bottom of the first. No score here in Mesa. And the pitch from Matt Harrison is in there for a strike. Soriano, the right-handed batter, now 33 years old. That's at the top of Lou's order. He decided to forego playing in the World Baseball Classic this year. Harrison, the big lefty, 6'4", 225, delivers a change, and it is tapped foul over to Terrio in the on-deck circle. Mike Quaddy is the third base coach. Matt Sinatro, the first base coach for Lou Piniella, whose Cubs won 97 games last year, best record in baseball, then were swept by the Dodgers in the division series. The pitch inside from Harrison, 1-2. It was the second straight year in which the Cubs won their division and then were swept the previous year. The Diamondbacks took them out in the first round. They haven't won the World Series for a while, as you may know. 1-2, breaking ball, struck him out swing, a nasty curve from Matt Harrison to strike out Alfonso Soriano and get the bottom of the first inning underway. Next up, Ryan Terrio, the shortstop out of Baton Rouge, hitting .326, no homers, 2 RBIs. He is the Cubs' regular shortstop. We're not entirely certain about the second base situation, with Mark DeRosa having been traded over to Cleveland, but Aaron Miles, who's in the lineup today, is probably going to get the bulk of the playing time at second base for the Cubs. There aren't a lot of question marks in this camp. Terrio takes a little bit low from Matt Harrison, ball one. Harrison, a 9-game winner last year, a Ranger rookie record for left-handers. And the pitch is over for a strike, 1-1. And he was not called up until July the 8th. Went 9-3 the rest of the way in 15 starts, a 5.49 ERA. 1-1 pitch, a swing and a foul ball back. Acquired from the Braves in the Mark Teixeira deal. Originally a third-round pick by the Braves out of high school in 2003. There was a curve and a slider, along with a fastball, a cutter, and a very good change of pace. Works in short sleeves today. Very deliberate motion. Throws a change. It is swung on and missed as he got Terrio to chase a pitch about a foot outside the strike zone. It was down and away. Matt Harrison has back-to-back strikeouts to get the bottom of the first underway in a scoreless game.
That's as many strikeouts as he had in his first 2 spring outings in 4 innings.
Maybe catching the Cubs at the right time, but it appears his stuff is good. They have, however, swung at pitches out of the zone in each of the first 2 at-bats. And here's Derek Lee, the big right-handed hitting first baseman. He takes a knee-high strike. Matt Harrison, prior to last season, was considered the number 12 prospect in the Rangers system by Baseball America, as he misses with a change outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Opened the year at Frisco, went up to Oklahoma on June the 5th, and to the big leagues July the 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off speed again, and he just missed with it outside. He was the only Ranger left-handed starter to win his debut in Arlington since David Clyde in 1974. There's a swing and a drive to center field. Coming in and over towards center is Josh Hamilton, and he snags it chest high. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Harrison. After 1 complete, Rangers nothing, Cubs nothing, on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
It sounded so great. My birthday present to myself, plastic surgery and a visit to an exotic location. The cost was lower, so I was able to afford more than 1 procedure. Oh, and privacy, too. I wouldn't have to worry about a neighbor dropping by, seeing me in bandages. What a mistake. So there I was, thousands of miles from home, in a hotel room. And I started running a fever. The next thing I knew, I was in a foreign hospital, really wishing I was back in the U.S. I ended up being stuck away from home weeks longer than I had planned. And I wasn't touring the countryside.
Saving on plastic surgery in a foreign country can cost you a lot more than money. Find out about safe plastic surgery at plasticsurgery.org. This public service announcement is brought to you by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons.
Claudia learned not to joke about her husband's bipolar illness.
He was acting silly about something, and I said, "Whoa, have you taken your meds today?" And he said, "I really don't appreciate that." And he's had friends that have done that too, and he generally has had the nerve to call him on it and say, maybe we need to have a little education here. Sometimes people lightly use the word crazy or, gee, you're really acting manic.
Mental health is no joking matter. From the Mennonite Churches and Faith and Values Media. Treat me with understanding.
Drug and alcohol addiction is an equal opportunity disease. Individuals in recovery deserve to be treated with respect for winning one of the hardest battles there is. For drug and alcohol information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP.
No score, second inning. Josh Hamilton goes after the first pitch from Sean Marshall and fouls it away into the seats behind third base. Hamilton off to a great start this spring, hitting .412, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. He's 7 for 17. And Marshall's pitch is a big curve that settles in for a strike. On deck is Marlon Byrd and Chris Davis to follow. Both teams went in order in the first inning. On a hazy day in Mesa. The pitch to Josh, swung on and drilled into right, a base hit. Low line drive under the glove of Derek Lee, who tried to backhand it without leaving his feet. And Hamilton becomes the game's first base runner with a sharp single to right. Next up, Marlon Byrd hitting 154, no homers, a run batted in. Last spring, there were rampant rumors that Byrd would be traded to the Cubs. But that did not occur. And Reed Johnson actually wound up doing a nice job as a right-handed hitting extra outfielder for the Cubs. Johnson's in the lineup today with Kosuke Fukadomi representing Japan in the World Baseball Classic. And there is one classic game going on right now. Pitch to Byrd outside for a ball. Cuba is hammering South Africa 8-0 in a total mismatch. The Cubans have hit 6 home runs as they bat in the 7th inning, including 2 by their number 3 hitter and probably best overall hitter, Frederick Cepeda, their left fielder. 1-0, and the pitch is swung on, and a broken bat liner is hit foul past third base. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. Hey, fans, you can save up to $23 per ticket when the Rangers host the Royals in an early season series, April 17th through the 19th. That is a weekend series. Friday night fireworks, Saturday, a red Josh Hamilton jersey will go to the first 7,500 kids 13 and under. And then Sunday, new Red Ranger caps for all fans attending. So for your tickets, enter RED as the coupon code on TexasRangers.com, and you can save up to $23 per ticket for that Rangers Royals series, April 17th through the 19th. Short lead at first base for Hamilton. Marshall tucks the glove against the right side of his chest and works out of a high hold. The pitch is a curve, and it's in there for a strike. It is 1-2. A lot of off-speed stuff here from Sean Marshall. A sixth-round pick by the Cubs back in 2003 out of Virginia Commonwealth. Broke in 2006, had 24 starts for the Cubs that year, was 6-9. The following year, 19 starts, was 7-8. And now Bird swings, and it's a slow roller on the third base side. Off the mound is Marshall. His throw to first is low, but dug out by Derek Lee. And Bird is retired. It works like a bunt. And in this scoreless game, Hamilton now occupies second base with one out, and Chris Davis is coming up. Davis hitting .211 in the early go, has not yet driven in a run this spring. Getting his 9th start, and that's as many games as any Ranger has started. David Murphy, Elvis Andrus, also starting for the 9th time today. Hank Blaylock not on the trip. For the most part, the Ranger regulars are here and in the lineup as Davis fouls one back. Nelson Cruz, of course, is not. He's with the Dominican Club in the World Baseball Classic. And I read a story last night that Felipe Alou, after their loss to the Netherlands yesterday, is going to shake up their lineup, and he might bench Nelson Cruz, who went 1 for 4 with a single in left field yesterday. 0-1, and the pitch is swung on, popped up foul, third base side, ranging over Ramirez near the stands, and he can't quite get it. There's quite a bit of foul territory here, and very wide warning tracks, and that ball landed just in front of the low barrier, about equal with the rim of the infield. Ramirez just couldn't get over there, and the at-bat continues for Davis. They have one of the high hitters backdrops here in Cincinnati, in Mesa, a big high green wall above the 410 sign in center, and that wall is in play. It's at least 40 feet high, maybe higher. Talking to some of the people here, they think the last player to clear it was Sammy Sosa. It's 390 to the alley, 350 down the lines here. And Davis waits on a curve, but not long enough. He lines it foul past the tarpaulin into the seats in the right field corner. The bullpens are in straightaway right field. They are double-decked with the Cubs bullpen in the front and the visiting bullpen behind it. The scoreboard is in straightaway left field behind the berm. And out in the distance, a variety of mountains, buttes, and, as you would expect, a mesa or two. A look back at second. Here comes the pitch. Davis takes a curve outside. Didn't miss by much. And the crowd oohs and ahs. We are scoreless here in the second inning. And waiting on deck is Jared Saltalamacchia. Big news in baseball today. The Yankees announcing that Alex Rodriguez will have hip surgery and will miss probably the first couple of months of the season. 1-2. A swing and a line drive to first, snagged by Lee. Throws to second, and it is in time to double up Josh Hamilton, who gets caught on an inning-ending double play. The play goes 3-6, and the inning is over. No runs on a hit, and nobody left. Middle of the second, Rangers nothing, Cubs nothing, on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stand by for an important announcement from the fashion world. Red is in. That's right, red. Hot red. Fire engine red. In fact, red is the new black. Specifically, Texas Rangers red. The Texas Rangers are bringing back red, and you'll see us in our bright red jerseys at every Saturday home game. I've nothing against blue. Hey, some of my best friends are blue. We're keeping the blue unis in the rotation. But red, well, red is a different matter altogether. Not just any red. Home run red. Unbelievable clutch play to win it in the 9th inning red. So when you come to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington on Saturdays, wear your red. Trust me. You're going to look good in red. Texas Rangers. Built for speed, built for power, built for fun.
April 17th to 19th is Red Out Weekend against the Royals. Get $10 tickets by entering RED as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com.
Just up the road from the finest spring training complex in baseball sits one of the finest spring training hotels in baseball. You'll find both in Surprise, Arizona, home of Rangers spring training, and Windmill Inn and Suites. The Rangers' preferred spring training hotel offers complimentary breakfast, spacious and very comfortable rooms and suites, indoor corridors, excellent service, and great value. Windmill Inn and Suites has satisfied travelers' needs for 24 years. Make your reservation today at windmillinns.com.
Milton Bradley is introduced to the crowd here as we open the bottom of the second in a scoreless game, and in a very nice gesture, he signals to a Ranger manager, Ron Washington, with a little touch of the batting helmet looking into the Ranger dugout, perhaps saluting the entire Ranger team, but certainly the manager who stuck behind Milton all last year in Texas. Matt Harrison comes to the switch hitter with a fastball outside to open the bottom of the second. Bradley hitting cleanup for the Cubs, and that's where he will bat this year, in between Lee and Ramirez, who waits on deck. And the pitch is low for a ball. Milton this spring sporting a .400 batting average. He's just 2 for 5. He missed almost a week with a quad injury and some flu-like symptoms. Wearing that familiar number 21 and white batting gloves. The 2-0 pitch to Bradley, swung on, and a high bounding ball up the middle is through for a base hit. Harrison reached up, but not in time. And it was too far to the left of Andrus for Elvis to make a play, so Bradley is on. And he and Chris Davis will renew acquaintances over at first base. Talking to some of the Cubs media people about their dealings so far with Milton, the phrase moment to moment was used. We used to say day to day kind of on whether Milton would be talking, what kind of mood he was in. They're saying this spring it's been more moment to moment. But he's a great guy to talk to when he's in the mood. Very intelligent and thoughtful. At times he will look right through you. Ramirez from the right side, and the third baseman sails one foul into the seats in the right field corner. It is 0-1. The Cubs signing Bradley to a 3-year, $30 million contract. They are his 7th team in the last 9 years. Cubs made major changes in the offseason for a club that won 97 games. 12 of the players from their 25-man roster from last season are gone. 0-1. And the pitch is cut on and missed. It is 0-2. And that is pretty radical for a club that had the best record in baseball, but they really want to correct that playoff failure of the last 2 years. People gone: Ronnie Cedeno, Mark DeRosa, Henry Blanco, Jim Edmonds, Rich Hill, Felix Piet, Bobby Howry. Pitch is very high. Jason Marquis, Darrell Ward, and, of course, Kerry Wood, now with the Cleveland Indians.
One of the biggest surprises is DeRosa, who was very useful, as Ranger fans discovered in his brief time in Arlington.
Lob to first, Bradley back. Yeah, a lot of folks surprised all around baseball, wondering if it was a financially motivated move by the Cubs, or whether they really did just want to get another left-handed bat in there in the person of Aaron Miles. It's not as if DeRosa can't hit righties, though. It just didn't seem to make sense. Pitch swung on and fouled back if it were not economically motivated. But
maybe the mindset of the Cubs and of their fans is a little bit like the Cowboys right now. They've made consecutive postseasons. They make it this year. The last time the Cubs made 3 straight postseasons, 1906, 7, and 8.
And that, of course, was their glory era, as Harrison bounces a curve and it bounds away from Saltalamacchia over toward the Cubs' first base dugout. That'll be a wild pitch, and Milton Bradley's in scoring position here. Nobody out in the second, a scoreless game.
And, you know, if you want to compare droughts, Cowboys having gone since 96 without a playoff win, that's about like to a Cub fan having gone since 1908 without a World Series win. So getting to the postseason is not enough in itself anymore for a Cub fan.
2-2 pitch, a little bit low from Harrison. This with a sinking fastball. And the count is full. Well, they got outscored by the Dodgers 20-6 in that 3-game sweep by L.A. Cubs led the National League in runs scored in the regular year. Averaged almost 5.5 per game, then didn't hit in postseason. 3-2 pitch, swung on, ground ball to the shortstop hole. Andrus has it and drops it as he appeared to look to third base to check on the progress of the runner Milton Bradley, and in the process dropped the baseball. That'll go as an infield hit. Ramirez on at first, Bradley now at third. There's nobody out. Harrison's in a bit of a spot in a scoreless game, and Reed Johnson's coming up.
I think had he been able to make the play to third, he would have gotten Milton Bradley, too. He was able to scramble into the hole in time to get there, and with a clean move from the glove to the throwing hand, I think Bradley would have been thrown out there, and you got one out and the man on first. Instead, runners on the corners and no outs.
A very nice get by Andrews. And here's Reed Johnson, the right-handed batter, former Toronto Blue Jay out of Cal State Fullerton. And he takes high for a ball. Hitting .316 for the spring, no homers, 3 RBIs, and getting extra playing time with Fukudomi in Asia right now, playing for the Japanese team, which has already advanced in the World Baseball Classic to round 2. That'll be in San Diego. The pitch cut on and missed, 1-1. The United States team will be playing Venezuela tonight in its next game, with the U.S. and Venezuela having both won yesterday. Venezuela shutting out Italy 7-0 after the U.S. beat Canada 6-5. And that game will start at 7 o'clock Central Time. 1-1, it's outside for a ball. Rangers here at double play depth with runners at first and third and nobody out. Here in Arizona, the clocks were not set ahead last night. They do not observe daylight saving time. So there's now a 2-hour time difference between us and you if you're listening to us in Texas or anywhere in the Central Time Zone. 2-1. A swing and a ground ball to short. This should be 2. Andrews feeds underhand to Kinsler and on to first for the double play. The Rangers turn 2 but give up a run on the 6-4-3 twin killing. Bradley crosses the plate. The wild pitch now has assumed great importance, and the Cubs have a 1-0 lead. 2 outs. Aaron Miles coming up next. Miles played the last 3 years with the Cardinals, was a free agent signee in the offseason. And Miles in the spring hitting .200, no homers, and 4 runs batted in. Former Colorado Rocky. And he bats from both sides of the plate. Up there right-handed against Harrison, and the pitch misses for ball 1. Also in the World Baseball Classic tonight, Australia and Mexico, they'll be playing their first game each as Miles fouls one at the plate. And Panama will play the Dominican Republic in a game that'll get started very shortly, and that is an elimination game, with Dominican Republic having lost to Netherlands and Panama having lost to Puerto Rico 7-0 yesterday. Pudge Rodriguez, big day, 4 hits, 2 home runs. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a foul back as Miles reached for a low outside off-speed pitch, and the count has gone to 1-2. Cubs taking a 1-0 lead here. Bradley, a ground ball single, moved up on a wild pitch. Ramirez singled him over to third, and Reed Johnson got the run home without an RBI on a double play. Coy Hill, the catcher, on deck, and the pitch is swung on. Little bloop out toward left field. Leaping Andrews, he's got it! Sensational play by Elvis Andrews on a humpback liner over his head. He went way up and pulled it down to end the inning. 1 run on 2 hits, and nobody left. After 2, it's 1-0 Cubs on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Son, we got to talk about drinking.
I know.
I don't want you touching alcohol till you're old enough.
Yeah, I know, Dad. It's not a big deal.
I know me, okay? And it is a big deal. Underage drinking is just stupid.
Yeah, well, why'd you do it?
Look, I did it because we didn't know what we know now. Alcohol affects kids differently, okay? Well, when kids drink, it's more dangerous. And you're my kid. And just because they drink doesn't mean you have to.
I know.
Look, son, I'm trying to help. I've seen what it does. I mean, you may think you can handle it, but when you drink, it screws up your judgment. Listen to me. This is real.
I know, okay? I know.
Teenagers know everything. So talk about underage drinking before they know it all. Before they're teens. Start talking before they start drinking. And keep talking. To learn more about the dangers of underage drinking and what to say to your kids, go to stopalcoholabuse.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
My grandpa said he had to do something very important. Grandma had to go out for just a little bit.
The CDC recommends that all seniors get out for their flu shot.
She'll be right back.
So be sure you protect yourself against influenza. After all, it's important to a lot of people.
When Grandpa gets back, we're going to wrestle.
Be smart.
be well. Get your flu shot.
Grandpa's home.
Call 1-800-CDC-INFO for more information. A public service message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The odds of a child performing at Carnegie Hall, 1 in 73,000. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 150. To learn the signs of autism, visit autismspeaks.org.
Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Eric Nadel, Dave Barnett in Mesa. 1-0 Cubs as we go to the third. Here's Dave.
All right, Eric, thanks. And Jared Saltalamacchia swings at the first pitch and scatters some fans with a hard line drive behind third base. Somebody might be injured on that one. Fans in the first couple of rows all standing looking at one specific area where that ball sailed into the stands. 0-1. And the next pitch comes in low, a ball and a strike. Some ushers now over to take a look at the fan at whom Saltalamacchia lined one. Here's the 1-1 pitch, chopped down the line, gloved by the third baseman Ramirez behind the bag and throws all the way across the diamond and gets Jared Saltalamacchia 5-3 to begin the third inning. Sean Marshall has faced the minimum so far, has allowed only one hit, a leadoff single in the second by Josh Hamilton. He was erased on an inning-ending line drive off the bat of Chris Davis to the first baseman Lee, who then threw to double off Hamilton at second. Now Elvis Andrus, who's hitting .250 for the spring, his ninth start, and he shows bunt and takes outside for a ball. Might need a new measurement. Vertical leap to describe the play that Elvis made to end the last inning. First pitch was inside. This one misses as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Off the bat, I did not think Elvis had a prayer of getting the soft line drive. 2-0 pitches in there. Looked like it would sail over his head, but he gathered himself. And if you were a basketball player, we'd know what his vertical leap is, but I'm going to guess somewhere around 36 inches. Here's a swing and a pop-up into shallow right center field. 3 Cubs converge, and the right fielder Bradley makes the call and has it for out number 2 here in the third. Miles and Johnson were also there, but Bradley made the call. Seems like there is at least one defensive gem every game for Elvis Andrus so far. He's already made one today. Now, for the first time this spring, a Ranger pitcher at the plate, and it's Matt Harrison. And we're told that the pitchers who bat today are under strict orders from Ron Washington to take every pitch. And Harrison takes the ball on the first pitch. Lefty-lefty matchup. Marshall comes back to him with a strike, 1-1.
He's not even wearing batting gloves.
I guess there's no need to. You're going to follow orders. Here's the 1-1. In there on the inside corner, 1-2.
He looks good up there. He's kind of striding into the pitch. Looks as if he might offer it something.
He might, but he won't. Here's the 1-2. And it's a call, strike 3 on the outside corner. The easiest strikeout Sean Marshall may ever have. Rangers again go in order. And we head to the bottom of the third. Cubs 1, Texas nothing on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Did you know that all Mueller metal roofs and buildings are made by Mueller? Get the peace of mind you deserve, knowing your warranty is backed by a company that has been manufacturing metal products in Texas for over 75 years. You can be certain that we will be here for you today and far into the future. Visit us online at MuellerInc.com or call 877-2-MUELLER to speak with a representative at one of our locations nearest you. That's 877-2-MUELLER.
I'm about to present to you a straightforward commercial for Geico, the third largest personal auto insurer in the country. Last year, over 3 million drivers switched to Geico, and Geico received a customer satisfaction rate of 97%. Standard & Poor's has consistently awarded Geico a AAA rating for financial strength. This is usually where I'd say something cute or clever, but like I said at the beginning, we're keeping this straightforward. Goodbye to you now.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you hundreds on car insurance.
night, all roads lead to murder.
Hung around with the Jackals Motorcycle Club.
Kid didn't know what she was getting into. Get ready for the ride of your life. New Cold Case, CBS tonight.
1-0 Cubs as Chicago prepares to hit the bottom half of the third inning. They've out-hit the Rangers 2-1. It'll be the number 8 hitting catcher, Coy Hill, then Sean Marshall, the pitcher, and then to the top of the order to Alfonso Soriano. Matt Harrison struck out the first two he faced in the first, a 12-pitch inning. In the second, Milton Bradley led with a single, was wild pitched to second. That became a key mistake for Harrison because after an infield hit by Aramis Ramirez, Reed Johnson 6-4-3 double play ball brought Bradley home with the game's first run, and then Miles robbed by Andrews with the leaping grab of his liner at short to end the inning. First pitch low and away. 1-0 to Hill, hitting .250, 3 for 12 in 5 spring appearances. Has batted in 2 runs. 1-0 pitch, fastball in there. Coy, age 30, native of Tulsa. His third year with the Cubs, coming off solid campaign last year. 1-1 pitch bounces in. 2008 hit .275 with 17 home runs, 64 batted in at Iowa. Spent 10 games with the Cubs at the major league level, hit only .095, but hoping to stick this year. And swings and lines one down the line in left field, headed to the corner. Hill digging for 2. Murphy up with it, and it is a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the third for Coy Hill.
Well, one of the advantages that the Cubs are gaining from Giovanni Soto being in the World Baseball Classic, playing for Puerto Rico, the fact they're getting a better look at these contenders to be the backup catcher. And Coy Hill's had some big league time with Arizona and the Cubs, but last year tried to come back from an absolutely horrific off-season accident in which he severed the fingers of his throwing hand with a chainsaw and somehow returned and played baseball.
Sean Marshall, the pitcher, shows bunt and takes high and away. But
Hill, a Lawton, Oklahoma native, reportedly came very close to actually losing the fingers on his right hand.
Well, amazing that he's continuing his career. Marshall gets the bunt down. It is right to Michael Young coming in from third. The only play is to first. Sacrifice 5-3, and Hill takes third with 1 out. So Marshall does his job. And back to the top of the order, Soriano, who struck out on 4 pitches to begin the first inning. The 7-time All-Star. The only Major League second baseman ever to have a power streak of 28 or more homers in 7 consecutive seasons. And the first pitch not there, 1-0 from Harrison to Soriano. Alfonso on the DL twice last year, still led the Cubs with 29 home runs in just 109 games. Swings and chops one foul. Off to the left side, 1-1.
Almost nailed Brandon Boggs there in the Ranger dugout. They have the protective screens in front of the dugouts. Thank goodness that was headed directly at Boggs' midsection.
Soriano, the only player in Major League history to do this 4 times. 35 homers, 90 runs batted in, and 30 stolen bases. Pitch bounces in, stopped by Saltalamacchia to keep Hill at third. 2 balls and a strike.
And of course, the chance to drive in 90 is greatly reduced when you're a leadoff batter in the National League.
Well, he manages to do it. And the fastest player ever to 200 homers and stolen bases in a career. Fastball comes inside, and it's 3 balls and a strike.
When he was with the Rangers, one year in 2004, he hit mostly in the number 3 spot. And the following year in 2005, he hit mostly in the number 5 position. He did bat leadoff a few times each year, but for the most part was not the Ranger leadoff hitter.
But the production is always there. Saltalamacchia calls time now and trots out for a word with Matt Harrison. Coy Hill led the inning with a double into the corner and left. Sacrificed to third by the pitcher Marshall. And now Harrison working behind Alfonso Soriano. 3 balls and a strike with Ryan Theriot due on deck. Rangers still have Joaquin Arias to show for the trade in which they acquired Soriano from the Yankees for A-Rod. 3-1 pitch, not close, outside for ball 4. And the first walk issued by Harrison puts Cubs on the corners with 1 out here in the third. Chicago with a 1-0 lead and a chance to add to it here. Ryan Theriot also struck out in the first. 5th year out of LSU. Former 3rd-round pick. The year before that, part of the College World Series championship team in 2000. And Harrison starts him off with a strike. Not been getting ahead of the hitters as he did in the first inning. Got ahead of only one batter, Miles, in the second, and has been behind everybody so far here in the third. Check of Soriano at first. Pitch is a high chopper to the second baseman Kinsler, who makes the short toss to Davis at first, but Coy Hill comes home with the second run of the game for the Cubs on an RBI chopper by Theriot. Soriano down to second base, and it's 2-0. That ball chopped off the dirt, good 40 or 50 feet in the air before it could come down to Kinsler. Absolutely no hope of even looking to the plate. So 2-0, and Derek Lee, the batter, takes inside. Lee lined to Hamilton in center to end the first inning. 2-time All-Star, beginning his 6th year as a Cub. Former first-round draft pick of the Padres. 1-0 pitch just misses outside, 2-0. Cubs add a power source during the offseason by acquiring Bradley. Big one right here in Lee. Swings and fouls it off out of play to the right side. 2-1.
And he had that huge year a few years ago that he's never been able to duplicate. 46 home runs and 50 doubles and hit .335. Led the league. Everything since then has seemed like a bad year, but certainly hasn't been.
Also won the Gold Glove that year. His third for MVP. Swinging another foul ball out of play on the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if you look at their lineup, they lead off with a big home run threat in Soriano. 3, 4, 5 hitters, Lee, Bradley, Ramirez. Also, minimum 20 home run men, you figured. Ramirez, you look for 30 or more. The 2-2 pitch misses low, and a full count to Derek Lee. With 2 outs, Alfonso Soriano down at second base, and a run in here in the bottom of the third. Cubs leading 2-0. Trying to end a 5-game losing streak. All 5 lost by 1 or 2 runs. Here's a call, strike 3 on the outside corner. Lee checked his swing, thought he had ball 4, and that ends the third, but the Cubs get a run on a double, a walk, and an RBI bouncer, and we go to the fourth. Chicago 2, Texas nothing on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Have you eaten here before? Nope.
Good morning, gentlemen. Can I share our specials with you?
Sure.
First, we have the seafood special. It's actually been sitting around here for a week. Then there's the cream of chicken soup. It's had no refrigeration since it was made yesterday. We're known around these parts for our food poisoning. What can I get you?
Yeah, don't think we can stay for lunch.
Wouldn't it be great if you could be warned of life's risks? If you have diabetes, you can. There's a simple blood test called A1C that can help measure your risk of complications from diabetes. Why is it important? Because more than 600 people every day die from diabetes and its complications. If your A1C is above 7, your doctor can show you how to lower it. If you have diabetes, know your risk. Know your A1C. Ask your doctor. Or for more information, go to www.diabetesa1c.org or call 1-877-TEST-A1C. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International, and the Ad Council.
Okay, here's your ham on rye. Extra mayo.
I ordered the turkey on whole wheat with mustard.
Messing up your sandwich order is one thing, but messing up your medical care is another. Medical errors are one of the nation's leading causes of death and injury, but you can help avoid errors by being more involved in your health care. Get the fact sheet, 20 tips to prevent medical errors, by visiting ahrq.gov/consumer. A message from the U.S. Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality.
The only playground thousands of children in the third world know is their workplace. Sponsor one of these children. It's only $1 a day. Call Intervita USA at 1-800-528-2930 and save a life now.
On to the fourth inning now at Ho-Ho-Cam Park in Mesa. Dave Barnett with Eric Nadel. Rangers trailing 2-0 as they send top of the order to the plate against Sean Marshall. Beginning with Ian Kinsler, who checks his swing on strike one. Kinsler grounded to third. His first trip. David Murphy, Michael Young will also hit here in the fourth. Pitch misses down and away, 1-1. Marshall has allowed only one hit, a leadoff single in the second by Hamilton, and has faced the minimum 9 batters first time through the Ranger lineup. Here's the 1-1 in there. 1-2, and he is consistently ahead of the hitters. Matt Harrison was in the first, but not so in the second and third, and the Cubs have gotten to him for single runs in each of those innings. Big 6'7" left-hander Sean Marshall has been working very quickly. Now takes his time before he winds and delivers. Swung on and missed. Strikeout number 2, including the Harrison strikeout, in which Harrison made no attempt, and none of the Ranger pitchers who hit today will make any attempt to swing. So the first earned strikeout by Marshall. Kinsler is 0 for 2, and now here's David Murphy.
And you wonder if any of the rest of them will actually even get to the plate.
First pitch is a ball. There is really no reason for Ron Washington not to send a parade of pinch hitters when the number 9 spot comes up for Texas. 1-0 pitch in there at the knees. Ball and a strike to Murphy, who bounced to the mound in the first. Lefty-lefty matchup. Marshall, former 6th round pick out of Virginia Commonwealth, misses low and away. 2 balls and a strike. That same year, his twin brother Brian was also drafted, and in fact picked a round higher by the Red Sox. Marshall, beginning his 4th year in the majors. 2-1 pitch, finds the hole on the right side. A ground single for David Murphy with 1 out here in the 4th. And the Rangers have their second base hit and just their second base runner. That'll bring up Michael Young, who grounded to short to end the first.
You wonder how much Murphy will play against lefties this year, if Marlon Byrd needing playing time as well. Murph showed he could handle lefties last year, hit about 260 against them, not with the same sort of power he had against righties. But if Marlon Byrd's going to play, you would imagine it would be in place of David Murphy on the days the Rangers face lefties.
First pitch to Young. Swung on, foul back, off the roof. Cubs leave Young in left center field. More room than right center. The center fielder, Johnson, has him played slightly to go the other way. Double play depth in the infield. 0-1 pitch, a slow curve in there. 0-2. Marshall's been very sharp, really, with all his pitches, but that ultra slow breaking ball has been very effective. So able to mix that with the fastball, and again work ahead of the Ranger hitters. 0-2 to Young. with a short lead off first by Murphy. Marshall last year, 34 appearances, all but 7 out of the bullpen. He was 3-5, 3.86 ERA. Here's the 0-2, a swing and a miss. And the third strikeout, all in the last 4 hitters for Sean Marshall. Young is 0 for 2. Marshall gets Kinsler swinging to begin the 4th. After the single to right by Murphy, Young goes down swinging, and here's Josh Hamilton, who before this inning had the only Ranger hit. And erased on a double play. Murphy again the lead at first, going after the first pitch. Hamilton lofts it into left field. Soriano has him played perfectly and makes the catch. Only 1 out hit by Murphy in the Rangers half of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cubs 2, Rangers nothing on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Before I tell you about the all-new 2010 Lexus RX, can you do me a favor? Turn up the volume on your stereo. When you turned it up, did you have to reach for the control, or was it right at your fingertips? Now, try changing the radio station without looking at the stereo. Go ahead. I'll wait. And one more thing. Check your current speed for me. Were you able to stay focused on the road? These are things you probably don't think about when driving, but it's the very thinking that went into the Lexus RX. Everything inside the cabin is placed just where you need it, and many of the important functions are available right on the steering wheel, so you can multitask easily and effortlessly. Even accelerating through traffic will seem effortless with a new 6-speed transmission. So, what you have is a vehicle that doesn't tax your abilities, but instead makes the most of them. To see the Lexus RX bring this thinking to life, see your Dallas-Fort Worth area Lexus dealer, or visit lexus.com/allnewRx.
Just up the road from the finest spring training complex in baseball sits one of the finest spring training hotels in baseball. You'll find both in Surprise, Arizona, home of Rangers spring training, and Windmill Inn and Suites. The Rangers' preferred spring training hotel offers complimentary breakfast, spacious and very comfortable rooms and suites, indoor corridors, excellent service, and great value. Windmill Inn and Suites has satisfied travelers' needs for 24 years. Make your reservation today at windmillinns.com.
The new pitcher on for the Rangers. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network. Right-hander Frank Francisco is the Rangers' second pitcher of the day. The starter, Matt Harrison, goes 3 innings, allows 2 runs on 3 hits, strikes out 3, including the first 2 in the very first inning, when he looked as if he might have as sharp a day as Vicente Padilla had yesterday. It didn't turn out to be the case, as he allows single runs in the second and the third. One of those by Milton Bradley, who led off the second with a single, was wild pitched to second and scored on a double play. And Bradley, the switch hitter, batting left here to greet Francisco, leading off the bottom half of the 4th. Francisco, beginning the year as the Rangers' closer, starts with a fastball swung on and missed. Francisco, 29, 6'3", 232, beginning his 5th Major League season. Swing and a foul back to the screen, and he works quickly ahead of Milton Bradley, 0-2. Bradley last year, the starting DH for the American League. With a career-high 22 home runs. Pitch comes up and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bradley, for the first time since 2004 last year, did not make a visit to the DL. Played 126 games. Here's the 1-2. Swing and another foul ball back off the roof to the left of us.
It was a subject of debate a number of times, however, whether or not he should go on the disabled list due to a variety of injuries, which would cause him to miss a week or 10 days.
1-2 pitch, misses. Low and outside. Count is even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It was one of the great challenges of the second half of the season for Ron Washington.
And do you keep him on the roster? If so, in the lineup? And if so, where? 2-2 pitch, swung on and chopped to the first baseman, Davis. He'll make the play unassisted, and one out in the fourth.
You know, he only played 15 games in September, but at that point you don't gain anything by putting a guy on the disabled list. And he didn't play the outfield at all after July the 21st. But still, if you could get him up to the plate, he was dangerous.
So one out, and here's the Cub third baseman, the always dangerous Aramis Ramirez. Infield single his first time up. Now 5 for 18 in the spring, and he takes a first pitch strike. Aramis last year made his second All-Star team at third. Drove in 100 for the sixth time in the last 8 years and the third consecutive year. Takes off speed outside, and it's a ball and a strike. Ramirez is the guy you just pencil in just about every year for 30 home runs and 100 runs batted in. Very consistent, plays a solid third base, swings and drives one to deep right center field. A long run and a one-hopper off the top of the wall. Hamilton gets it in. It is a one-out stand-up double for Ramirez. That one hopped almost high enough off the warning track in right center to become a ground rule double. The berm completely packed by fans sunbathing out there in right field. And so now Reed Johnson will bat with one out, and Ramirez in scoring position with the Cubs already on top 2-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Ramirez 2 for 2. He has half the Cubs base hits. Francisco with a check of him at second. First pitch to Johnson is a check swing strike on the outside corner. Johnson bounced into the 6-4-3 double play on which Milton Bradley scored the first run of the game in the second. 6 for 20 in the spring. This is 8th appearance. A one pitch inside, 1-1. Bring your bunch to a Rangers game. Have a ball. Groups of 20 or more get great discounts on a variety of deals, including food, caps, and tickets starting at just $7.50 per person. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. For details, visit TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Ball and 2 strikes to the Cubs center fielder, Reed Johnson. Ramirez with the lead off second. Swing and a chopper to the shortstop. Andrews backs up, takes it on a cap-high hop and throws in time to get Johnson and keep Ramirez at second base. So 2 gone in the fourth. Bring up the Cubs second baseman, the switch hitting Aaron Miles, who will hit from the left side for the first time today. He hit the line drive on which Andrews launched himself and grabbed it before it could fall in left center field to end the second inning. Swing and a miss at the first offering here from Francisco. Miles signed New Year's Eve, a free agent deal after spending the last 3 years in St. Louis. Helped them to the 2006 World Series championship. Here's a swing and a chopper right side, fielded by Davis, on to Francisco covering. And the Cubs are retired in the fourth. Only a one-out double by Ramirez, and Francisco allows no damage. So we go to the fifth. Still Chicago 2, Texas nothing on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Dad, can I ask you something?
Sure, what's up?
There's this girl I kind of like.
Well, if there's one thing I know, it's women.
Really?
Well, they didn't call me Velvet for nothing.
I don't get it.
Smooth. I was smooth.
Oh.
Anyway, it's easy. You just got to impress her. Show her how strong you are.
Okay, but how?
Just, I don't know, pick up a lot of heavy things around her.
Like what?
I don't know, desks, chairs, people. Grunt, if you have to.
Grunt?
Yeah, be like, ugh! Try it. See, there you go. And you should dress up. Start wearing a shirt and tie.
I'll look like a dork.
No, you'll look successful.
Okay.
And finally, you can start using my cologne. The ladies love it, so don't be shy. Splash it on.
Thanks, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference. To find out how you can adopt, please visit our website at adoptuskids.org or call 1-888-200-4005. A public service announcement brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
The following is a public service message of this station and call to recycle.
Hi, this is Richard Karn, asking you to help protect the environment by recycling your old rechargeable batteries and cell phones. They're the kind you find in power tools, cell and cordless phones, laptop computers, and other cordless electronics. It's easy and it's free. To find a participating drop-off location, call toll-free 877-2RECYCLE or visit us online at calltorecycle.org. Please, answer the call to recycle.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared.
Prevent your child's next asthma attack. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
2-0 Cubs as we go to the fifth. And again, here's Eric Nadel.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. Luis Vizcaíno, the veteran righty, is on to pitch. Luis Rivas is the new third baseman. And joining us in the booth, the former beat writer for the Dallas Morning News, now the beat writer for DMagazine.com, Evan Grant. First of all, is that the right phrase? Are you a beat writer for DMagazine.com or something else?
I think we're trying to come up with a new term for me as a hybrid blogger / beat writer. I need something very catchy, but I haven't come up with it yet.
I think maybe a contest on the website might be in order. Give Evan a new title.
How about beat blogger?
Beat blogger.
I like that.
Blog beater. We'll come up with something. But anyway, it's great to have Evan in camp, and he is covering the Rangers. InsideCorner.dmagazine.com is the site, right?
That is correct.
InsideCorner, one word, .dmagazine.com. Vizcaíno to Marlon Byrd, and the pitch is high for a ball. Byrd come back to the mound his first time up. And you just got here a few days ago, having basically switched jobs this week?
Yes, it was a very quick transition, and the folks at the Morning News were very, very nice in letting me get out here as quickly as possible.
A one pitch in for a strike. Now, when you walked in the clubhouse, were people surprised? What kind of reception did you get from the fellas?
Most of them wanted me to go away.
Nothing new about that.
Absolutely. But I walked in wearing a Georgia sweatshirt, and that made Marlon Byrd and Brandon Boggs, my two pals from Georgia Tech, very, very unhappy, and that's exactly the way I like it.
Vizcaíno working 0-2 to Marlon, and the pitch is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Cubs 2 runs, 4 hits. The Rangers no runs, 2 hits. We're visiting with Evan Grant, now in the employ of D Magazine, and writing on a daily basis from out here. In fact, several times a day on that site, correct?
I am trying to see if I can surgically attach the computer keyboard to my fingers. But yeah, we're trying to update the blog as much as possible, and also put full news stories on there as well, so that you have the whole format is a blog format, but the content is kind of a combination of typical beat coverage with blog stuff.
Marlon fouls on the way off to the right, 1-2. Then when the game is over, do you write what you would have written in the past, a full game-type story?
Well, from spring training, Eric, it's going to be a little bit different because I don't view the actual game outcome as quite as important. So I try and pick something to sum up.
Bird pops one on the right side of the infield. Lee comes in and takes it, and there's one out.
But during the season, I think I may be able to write a little bit more from a columnist type of perspective off of games, maybe focus on one particular thing rather than just the overall outcome. And we've got the flexibility at this point in time to, if we want to write 3 or 4 different stories about 3 or 4 different things that take place in a game, we've got that. The one great thing for me about this is being free of print deadlines gives you an awful lot of flexibility to kind of do whatever you want to do.
There's one out here in the fifth. It's 2-0 Cubs. 4 shutout innings for Sean Marshall, the starter. He allowed 2 hits and no walks. He struck out 3. Now Luis Vizcaíno misses outside to Chris Davis. Davis lined into a double play his first time up. A liner to first as Josh Hamilton was doubled off second base. That's the only time the Rangers have had a runner as far as second. They've only had 2 men on base. Murphy had a single in the fourth, Hamilton a single in the second. Yesterday, the Rangers beat the White Sox 2-1, so all of a sudden pitching is prevailing in Arizona. And the pitch is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Now, let's get down to brass tacks with regard to the Rangers. Since you've been here, what's been most impressive to you?
Starting pitching, actually.
How about that?
Man
bites dog.
I was just sitting down looking at the numbers from the last 3 or 4 days, and there have been some very impressive quality strike throwing outings. I think when Matt Harrison gave up the run today in the second inning, that ended a streak of 9 scoreless by the starting rotation, or the guys who will be in the starting rotation.
The pitch misses outside. It's 3-0. Luke Piniella is out of the Cubs dugout. He's motioning his shortstop, Terrio, to play over toward the middle against Chris Davis. 3-0 pitch, and it's outside a 4-pitch walk. Davis is on with 1 out. And Harrison's outing today, well, he's given up 2 runs in 3 innings, but you can't really say he was hit hard.
No, not at all. I thought he made some really quality pitches again today. I think that he was, I wouldn't say he was overly efficient, but he wasn't wasteful with his pitches. And I thought that that's the kind of thing that they're just looking from guys right now is quality strikes.
Saltalamacchia is next. The switch-hitting catcher was robbed by Aramis Ramirez, the third baseman, on a hard ground ball over third, batting right-handed his first time up. Now Salty's up there left-handed, with Davis at first and 1 out. And the pitch is outside from Vizcaino. Veteran sinker baller, 34 years old, was very briefly owned by the Rangers in spring training back in 2002.
Did he ever even get to Port Charlotte?
I never saw him, but the word was he did show up before being shuffled off to Milwaukee. A 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled back. He had been with Oakland, then spent 3 years with Milwaukee, 1 with the White Sox, 1 with the Diamondbacks, 1 with the Yankees, 1 with the Rockies. So this is his 6th different team in the last 6 years. A very durable right-hander, Luis Vizcaino. Cubs looking to fill a hole in their bullpen and doing it with this veteran. The Rangers still have some bullpen jobs open. The pitch swung on and missed. Slow breaking ball. Saltalamacchia chased it. And, that might be the most interesting competition on the club right now. Who's going to fill those bullpen spots? You think that'll go right down to the end?
I really do. I think that, and we wrote kind of a summary of it last night, that there's 8 guys, I think, legitimately fighting for 4 spots, and it is pretty much wide open right now. I don't think that those 4 middle spots in the bullpen, there's any clear leader among the candidates.
1-2 pitch fouled off the foot of Saltalamacchia. Now, when you say 4 spots open, you're presuming that Frank Francisco, C.J. Wilson, and Eddie Guardado are on the team as long as they're healthy?
Yes, and as long as Eddie's arm doesn't fall off at this point in time, and as long as C.J. doesn't do something kind of nutty, I think that, those jobs are secure. But I think that with this team, Eric, and I mean, what you have seen and what I've seen over the years is, for a lot of guys, a middle or long reliever is kind of the last guy on the team. These are valuable commodities for the Rangers. And
they tend to go through quite a few of them every year, not to mention starting pitchers.
If the Rangers can properly construct it, I think that there's some talent there. There's talent and there's potential there, but there's baggage with each of the guys that's in a contending spot.
Evan Grant, our guest today. 2-0 Cubs leading in the 5th. Salty swings and launches one foul down the right field line. We had to wait a few moments for Salty to walk off the foul ball he had just driven down onto his right foot. Now, a couple of the returnees from last year's bullpen, Josh Roop and Warner Madrigal, are off to good starts this spring. You think those guys are in a position where they would have to pitch their way off the club?
I think if you were trying to kind of subdivide where all the candidates are, I think Roop and Madrigal both kind of have somewhat of an inside track. Roop led the American League in innings pitched by a reliever last year. Was very durable. The Rangers are going to need that. Madrigal's got the potential to be a type of setup guy.
The pitch a little bit wide to Salty. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out in the 5th inning. 2-0 the Cubs on top. They got 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. Now Vizcaino fires, and he bounces in a splitter under the shoes of Salty. The count is full, and we'll see if Ron Washington starts Chris Davis over at first base. The 2 veterans in camp who could possibly be set-up men, to me, are very interesting. Derek Turnbow and Brendan Donnelly. And, the veterans sometimes don't come around until late in camp. What they do right now isn't necessarily representative of what they might do the final week of spring training. We've seen that many times. 3-2, and that's a long foul down the right field line. How do you see the possibility of those two guys?
Well, I was not impressed by Turnbow's outing the other day. He obviously had a lot of command issues with 3 walks and a hit batter. Donnelly is a guy who has pitched in a number of pennant races. It has been a really tough addition to a lot of bullpens, the Angels and the Red Sox being 2 of them. I don't know that the Rangers can keep both. Right now, if I'm leaning one way, I think it would be Donnelly.
3-2, and Salty fouls another one off. This one off the gear of the catcher, Coy Hill. The Ranger rotation seems to be set, assuming that everybody is healthy. That being the case, what happens to Jason Jennings? What happens to Chris Benson?
I think both those guys will be asked to go to Oklahoma City to start the year. Benson doesn't have an out in his contract until May, so he's pretty much obligated to do that.
3-2 pitches high, a great walk for Salt Telemakia, fouling off a few. And the Rangers now with back-to-back walks have 2 men on and 1 out. Elvis Andrus coming up. 2-0, the Cubs leading. Following Andrus, the pitcher, Frank Francisco, is due, and Andrew Jones has already moved to the on-deck circle to bat for the pitcher, which leads to the next question. What about Andrew? Where does he possibly fit on this ball club?
I don't think that there's a way that Andrew Jones, unless he absolutely catches fire in the next week, I don't think there's a way for him to carve himself a spot in the starting lineup. The only possibility would be to be kind of a platoon a platoon outfielder, DH hybrid type thing.
We got a new title for him too.
Yeah, we need to come up with a name for him, and it would be great if it was in Papiamento.
Pitch to Andrews as a breaking ball that doesn't break. Stays up high for a ball, and the Cubs are now getting a lefty up in the bullpen as Vizcaíno is struggling to throw strikes. Davis at second, Salty at first, 2-0 Cubs, 5th inning. Evan Grant, our guest here. And the pitch to Andrews, a swing and a miss. Elvis popped to right his first time up. Andrews made a great leaping catch earlier in the ball game on a soft line drive, but failed to make a play on a ground ball deep in the hole where he tried to backhand and seemingly throw to third base in the same motion. But he has been fun to watch. 0-1. Here comes Vizcaíno to the plate, and Elvis takes it high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
When I was playing around with the roster and projections, the one guy in this lineup, in the regular starting lineup, who may get pinch hit for occasionally is Elvis. And if you're going to pinch hit for him, you're probably going to want a left-handed hitter. And if that's the case, who better than Frank Catalanotto to carry?
Foul off to the right, 1-2. And, of course, the Rangers don't have a whole lot of playing time, it would appear, for Frank, other than as a pinch hitter.
But this is a guy who I think is second among active pinch hitters in on-base percentage as a pinch hitter, and second among them in batting average. So it's a role he obviously is cut out for.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Andrews waiting, and here it comes, and it's outside. A slider missed. And the count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now, aren't you late in blogging now? I mean, you've spent 5 or 10 minutes here. Haven't you missed a blog deadline?
I put up a very meaty, lengthy Sunday notebook just moments ago. So hopefully all your listeners are by their computers right now, reading and listening to us.
2-2, a swing and a high pop up right side of the infield. This one's playable, and the infield fly rule is called as the second baseman Miles drifts to his left and takes it. There are 2 outs. Dave, do you see this kind of thing happening in NBA coverage, too? You think there'll be some sort of beat blogger along the way doing this sort of thing?
I would be surprised, as papers, if they continue to drop, and, we've lost one of the Denver papers just in the last couple of weeks, then I think you're going to see new forms of coverage emerge, and you may be just at the crest of the wave. We may look back in a few years, say, yeah, Evan started that beat blogger business. He was one of the first. I have a question for you. How hard is it going to be to tear yourself away from your Cowboys coverage? And what are you going to miss most about it?
Well, it was going to be really difficult, but now that T.O. is gone, I think I'll actually be able to soldier forward.
Andrew Jones is
dodged a bullet on that one, didn't you?
Andrew takes low. It's ball one. 2 on, 2 outs, 2-0 Cubs.
Is being a Cowboy rider about like working for TMZ now at this point?
It looks like the TMZ people have a lot more fun than the Cowboys riders do. And we don't get to chat with that Harvey Levin character drinking his soda and laughing at everything that happens to every celebrity. So that might be more fun than the Cowboys. But it's about the same kind of prying type journalism that you've got to practice.
2-0 the count now on Andrew Jones with 2 men on, 2 outs, and Vizcaino misses high. It's 3-0 on Andrew. Ian Kinsler is waiting next. Here in the 5th inning, Bird popped out. Davis drew a walk. So did Saltalamacchia. Andrews popped out. And Vizcaino is behind in the count. 3-0 to Andrew. You figure has a green light here if Vizcaino can find the strike zone. Here comes the pitch, and he missed inside. Ball 4. The bases are loaded for Kinsler. So 2 pop-ups, 3 walks, and now a visit to the mound by Larry Rothschild. And as Ian Kinsler makes his way to the plate, you know, we've all wondered aloud, since Kinsler got hurt last year, where his numbers would have wound up and where he might have wound up in MVP balloting and that sort of thing, had he been able to play out the season last year, and what might he be able to do this year? Is it really just a matter of Ian Kinsler staying healthy and being accepted as one of the true premier players in this league?
All right, I don't have to address Dustin Pedroia in any of this.
I didn't mention who anyone might have voted for or not voted for.
His numbers were better than Pedroia at the time that he got hurt, and I think that if Ian stays healthy for a 162-game season, he's going to put up spectacular second base offensive numbers. But
there's a swing, there's a line drive, base hit, left field over the leap of the third baseman. 1 run is home, rounding third, coming to the plate, Saltalamacchia. He scores standing up. A 2-run single for Kinsler, and he has tied the game at 2. Right on cue.
Did you like that pregnant pause at the butt there?
Nicely done.
I think it is. His injuries to this point have all been kind of freak incidents. But I do think when you've got 3 consecutive years in which you've missed at least a month, you do start to get a little bit of the label of, is a guy injury prone? And I think it's important for him to play 150 plus games this year.
Well, Lou Piniella is going to make a pitching change here. He has seen enough of Luis Vizcaino. Vizcaino had not even allowed a base runner in his first 2 innings of work this year, but he is giving way to the former Ranger Mike Stanton, who is back in baseball this year after taking a year off last year. Stanton, who was part of the Rangers championship run in 1996, is coming out of the bullpen and taking the baseball from Sweet Lou. So we have a pitching change, a break in the action. The game tied at 2. It will be the lefty Stanton against the lefty David Murphy with runners at first and second. But first, we'll pause for a minute with the pitching change on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stand by for an important announcement from the fashion world. Red is in. That's right, red, hot red, fire engine red. In fact, red is the new black, specifically Texas Rangers red. The Texas Rangers are bringing back red, and you'll see us in our bright red jerseys at every Saturday home game. I've nothing against blue. Hey, some of my best friends are blue. We're keeping the blue unis in the rotation. But red, well, red is a different matter altogether. Not just any red, home run red. Unbelievable clutch play to win it in the 9th inning red. So when you come to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington on Saturdays, wear your red. Trust me, you're going to look good in red. Texas Rangers, built for speed, built for power, built for fun.
April 17th to 19th is Red Out Weekend against the Royals. Get $10 tickets by entering RED as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com.
Mike Stanton is on to pitch, the Midland resident, and if he pitches 75 times this year for the Cubs, he'll become the all-time leader in games pitched. He would pass Jesse Orozco, who has the all-time record of 1,252. Mike Stanton broke camp with the Reds last year, but was released on April the 10th, never appeared in a game, and went home for the year. This would be his 9th major league team if he makes the club. Murphy coming up here, runners at first and second, 2 outs. Evan Grant, our guest this inning from dmagazine.com. You can read his blog daily at insidecorner.dmagazine.com. If I'm remembering right. Is that correct?
That is correct, and let me just, for all our listeners at home, remind them that when I gave my father the new email address, he started to spell out dot as D-O-T. So it's not. It's an actual period. It's Inside Corner, period, dmagazine, period, com.
I need a little help with that, too. Murphy's 1 for 2 with a single, lefty to lefty, and a slow curve from Stanton is a strike over the outside corner. Stanton, I guess, with a shot to be a situational lefty, which raises an interesting question about the Ranger roster. There doesn't seem to be one of those. If Eddie Guardado's going to be on the club, it's not going to be as a guy to come in and face one lefty. A 1 pitch to Murphy is low. How do you see that playing out, Em?
Well, I think that depending on the situation, I think Ron Washington will be able to mix and match just a little bit. I do think that if he needs to, with Eddie's age at this point in time, if he needs to go get one left-handed hitter, he may go to Eddie early in a game.
1-1. It's low, 2-1. And I guess it depends a lot on how some of those other guys come around toward the tail end of the bullpen. If you have a Brendan Donnelly or a Turnbull throwing effectively, who you can give the entire 7th inning to, then it gives you the luxury, I guess, of using Eddie that way.
Absolutely, but you also run into the situation where you don't have a right-hander right now who is a typical setup guy. You don't have a right-hander necessarily for the 8th inning, so you want to have a righty that could maybe pitch to a batter to start the inning.
Murphy fouls one away off to the left. That's where the loss of Joaquin Benoit is so acutely felt right now. But remember, the Angels, have had a lot of success in recent years without having a situational lefty. Darren Oliver, the one lefty on their staff in several years, is not a guy who comes in usually to pitch to just 1 or 2 batters, but sometimes that's how Mike Scioscia uses it. And he didn't have a lefty at all in many of those years in his bullpen.
And last year, the Rangers had mostly for the season one lefty, and it was usually the closer or the setup guy.
Murphy swings. It's a fly ball to left. Soriano going back, makes the catch as he steps onto the track, brushes up against the Outback Steakhouse sign, and that's the inning. So Stanton gets his man, but just barely. Evan Grant, thanks for joining us. You can catch his blog at insidecorner.dmagazine.com. 2 runs for the Rangers in the top half of the 5th on just 1 hit and 3 walks. And in the middle of the 5th, it's the Rangers 2 and the Cubs 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
It's important to invest in your dreams, but don't forget to protect your investment with a Mueller metal building. Mueller buildings provide a safe and secure place to store your boat, RV, or other recreational vehicles until it's time to play. And Mueller's bolt-together buildings are easy to assemble, giving you more time to do the things you enjoy most. Get your custom building quote online at MuellerInc.com or call us today at 877-2-MUELLER. That's 877-2-MUELLER.
Want to know something cool about Geico and renter's insurance?
Do I?
Okay, well, let's say you buy some presents, but they get stolen.
Oh, mercy me.
Let me finish. Well, Geico can help with that, even if they're stolen from your car or right out of your hand.
My word.
Not done yet. And coverage is as little as $12 a month.
Mwah!
You just kiss me.
I get excited.
Yeah, maybe a little.
For a fast, easy rate quote on renter's insurance, visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Detours, blind U-turns, and winter in Siberia.
No! Oh, God. Are you freaking kidding me?
Must be a new amazing race. CBS tonight.
We are going to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Rangers and Cubs are tied at 2, and Jason Jennings is on to pitch for the Rangers. Second appearance of the year for the right-hander out of Mesquite, Poteet, and Baylor University. Jennings coming back off of elbow surgery in early May last year. He gave up a run on a couple of hits his first time on the mound, but was happy with the way he threw. Had his fastball in the upper 80s, was happy with the movement on his pitches, and was very happy with the way his arm felt during and after the outing, which is most important. World Baseball Classic today. Cuba defeated South Africa 8-1. They hit 6 home runs. Panama and the Dominican Republic in an elimination game are scoreless in the bottom of the 3rd. Nelson Cruz is playing, and he has just led off the bottom of the 3rd with a single and come around to score. So the Dominican has just gone ahead 1-0. Cruz scoring on an error by the Panama third baseman. Jennings to Coy Hill. misses inside for ball one. Hill, switch hitting catcher, doubled his first time up. Now he's batting left, and the pitch is low for a ball. It is 2-0. And in the on-deck circle for the Cubs, a pinch hitter for the pitcher, Brad Snyder, wearing the number 56, will bat for Mike Stanton, who faced just one batter and got his man. 2-0 pitch, and that's in there for a strike, 2-1. Jennings is the only change for the Rangers in this inning, and he's batting in the number 9 spot. Andrew Jones, who pinch hit and drew a walk, out of the ball game. And the pitch is low, 3-1. These National League rules keep you on your toes.
Well, it was enjoyable listening to Evan, and good for D Magazine for making use of his great experience and talent.
I agree. Coy Hill takes outside, ball 4. And what a great opportunity for Ranger fans on a daily basis to follow not only what's going on specifically in the game, pitch by pitch, as you listen to a broadcast or watch a broadcast, but to be able to get the sort of things you used to have to wait until the next day to get, and get them almost immediately from Evan with all his insight, a guy who started covering the Rangers in 1997.
What a waste that would have been if he had not had any Rangers to cover this year.
So here's Brad Snyder, pinch hitter, up there left-handed. He takes a strike over the outside corner. An outfielder by trade, Snyder 4 for 14, has a homer and 6 RBIs this spring. So he has made an impact early in camp. This game is tied at 2. Ian Kinsler tying it up with a 2-run single in the 5th. Jennings to the plate. There's a line smash foul just beyond the tarpaulin down the right field line. And the count is 0-2. Marlon Byrd retrieves the baseball, flips it up into the stands. We have almost a full house here at Hohokam, named after the ancient people who lived in this area. 0-2. And the pitch is a strike over the outside corner. Nice pitch from Jason Jennings. Looked like a little backdoor slider. And there's 1 out, 1 on. And Alfonso Soriano is coming up. The Google entry on Hohokam refers to them as the prehistoric people of the desert Southwest, occupying a wide area of south-central Arizona, south to the Mexican border, and even beyond the Mexican border, after whom this ballpark is named. 1 out, 1 on, and Alfonso swings and lines one to first. Leaping stab by Davis, double play. As Chris reaches way up and snags it, comes down almost directly on the base, kicks the pillow to complete the unassisted double play to end the inning. So Jennings with a rather quick 1-2-3 inning the hard way, and we've completed 5. Rangers 2, Cubs 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
It soars miles above the earth, 24 hours at a stretch, always looking.
Target captured in hot.
It's hunting for roadside bombs, the weapons of choice for terrorists.
Missile on the way.
And then,
Flash. Direct hit.
It's our job to take them out.
Tom Donovan pilots the Predator, guided by a sophisticated camera system that sees the landscape forward.
The Predator I fly is crucial to our fight against terrorism and protecting lives.
The Predator flies over hostile territory. He controls the aircraft from Nellis Air Force Base near Las Vegas, roughly 7,000 miles from the fight. Flying the Predator is Tom Donovan's part-time job. In the Air Force Reserve, he can serve his country while still working full-time as a commercial airline pilot. The Air Force Reserve, stationed locally, serving globally.
Sometimes those who need flu vaccine most can't ask for it. If your child is 6 through 23 months of age or has a serious medical condition, talk to your doctor about influenza immunization today, because your baby can't. Influenza and its related complications can lead to hospitalizations and even death in children. It's very serious. So are we. Kids need flu vaccine too. A message from the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases and American Academy of Pediatrics. Visit nfid.org or aap.org.
Hi, I'm Sandy Cornyn. My husband, Senator John Cornyn, and I know that everyone is at risk for diabetes. We urge you to get moving now to ensure a happier, healthier you.
This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Eric Nadel with Dave Barnett as we move to the sixth inning in Mesa on a windless afternoon. Very rare here in the Valley of the Sun. Tie ball game and some changes for Lou Piniella. Here's Dave to tell you all about it.
Yeah, two of them, including pitcher number 4 on the day, Jose Ascanio, a 23-year-old right-hander from Venezuela, replaces Mike Stanton, who did his typical job, retired the only batter he faced, David Murphy, to end the Rangers' 2-run fifth. And Doug Deeds has replaced Soriano in left. 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Rangers here in the sixth, and a 2-2 tie now. And Ascanio starts Michael Young with a fastball inside. Michael is grounded out and struck out. Rangers got their 2 runs against Luis Vizcaíno in 2/3 of an inning. He walked 3, allowed a 2-run single to Ian Kinsler, swinging a foul back 1-1 to Young. Cubs got their runs, one in the second and another in the third, both off the starter Matt Harrison, who went 3 innings, struck out 3, walked 1. Swing and a miss, 1-2 to Young. Josh Hamilton on deck. Rangers trying to win their 5th in the last 6 games, 6th in their last 8, and improved to 3 games over 500 in the Cactus League. They would go to 7-4 with a win. 1-2 again, swung on and missed. Ball almost in the dirt. And for the second straight time, Michael Young strikes out. He is 0 for 3. They'll bring up Hamilton, who singled to lead off the second. Erased on a double play, and last time up flied to left. Ascanio, in his second year with the Cubs organization, acquired from the Braves for Will Oman and Omar Infante, December of 2007. And the left-hand hitting Hamilton looks at a strike on the outside corner. Ascanio looks much bigger than he's listed. 6 feet 170.
That could be a signing weight.
That could be about 20 pounds off, too. He might still be 6 feet. Swinging a line drive down the right side and hooking foul. 0-2 to Hamilton. Ascanio made his Cubs debut with 6 games in 2 different stints last year in May and then late June into early July, most of the year at AAA Iowa. Two runs on 3 hits for the Rangers, 2 on 4 hits for Chicago. Second and final spring meeting between these two. The Rangers won February 27th and surprised 10-4. Break as Hamilton has to get a new weapon. He's broken the bat on the long foul ball and now makes his way back into the batter's box. Taps the plate. Ready to go to work now. Ascanio strictly from the stretch. And ready with the 0-2. Swing and another foul ball, this time back over the roof on the left side. Ranger pitching has been, if you want to use one word to describe it, at least among the starting pitching, efficient. Precisely what Mike Maddox likes to see. Swing and a miss, and Hamilton is down on strikes. And Ascanio has thrown only 1 ball out of the strike zone to retire Young and Hamilton both swinging. It'll bring up Marlon Byrd, who is 0 for 2. Maddox, after Padilla's sparkling 4 innings yesterday, which he faced the minimum 12 batters, allowed only 1 hit, 1 walk, said a word I'm not sure any pitching coach or any coach, period, has ever said, at least as I have been following Major League Baseball. Swing, and Bird fouls it back to the screen, 0-1. And the word was paucity. Paucity of pitches is what I'm all about. And a lot of pitching coaches have thought that. Swing and another foul ball. Over the roof, 0-2.
I think there's a paucity of baseball broadcasters who know what that word means.
I've only heard that word as it relates to sports, period, once. And that was, not surprisingly, out of the mouth of Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2. Check swing foul. Bird stays alive as Escadio tries to strike out the side here in the top of the sixth. But what Coach Maddox is talking about is what he's seen from Kevin Millwood and Padilla, and that is quick innings, getting ahead of the hitter and doing what Escadio just did to the Rangers. Bird strikes out swinging. So Young, Hamilton, and Bird, all strikeout victims of Jose Escadio here in the top of the sixth. And after 5.5, we're tied at 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
We at the Rangers love Dollar Hot Dog Night as much as you do. Concern surfaced, however, about the name. Oh, the offer is still the same. At most Wednesday home games, each hot dog costs just $1. But see, no one ever eats just one. So would double dollar duo dogs or $3 3-dog nights be better? The point is that on Dollar Hot Dog Night, you can eat as many dogs as you like for $1 each. But while you're consuming your personal best quantity, help us think of something baseball-y that rhymes with octet. Get the full Dollar Dog Night schedule at TexasRangers.com.
Hi, I'm Rodney Anderson with Rodney Anderson Lending Services. My number is easy. It's 1-800-EXPRESS. See, there's a lot of news out there, and I want to be the guidepost to financial literacy. A lot of the news is not accurate. People are being told that there's no home loans that are available. That's not the case. We're doing loans right here every day from $50,000 all the way up to $3 million. So if you're in the market to buy a home or refinance a home, we'll walk you through it and make sure that no question is left unanswered. See, we're in a time in the economy that a lot of lenders have never seen before. Well, I've been in this business for over 25 years. I've been in the Dallas Metroplex for over 17 years. I am the voice of reason, and I want to make sure that you understand what you have in front of you. Call us today. Our number's easy, 1-800-EXPRESS, or 24 hours a day. You can go to RodneyAnderson.com. Let me show you why I'm the #1 mortgage originator in the state of Texas.
A division of Supreme Lending, an equal housing lender.
Bottom of the sixth now at Hohokam Park in Mesa. Rangers 2 and the Cubs 2. Jason Jennings in his second inning as the Rangers' third pitcher of the day will face Ryan Theriot, Derek Lee, and Milton Bradley, 2, 3, and 4 hitters, and looping out his lineup. Jennings faced the minimum 3 in the fifth and winds and starts by bouncing one past Salta de Maquia, 1-0 to Theriot. Coy Hill led off the fifth with a walk, but Jennings got pinch hitter Brad Snyder looking, and then he got Alfonso Soriano to line into a double play. First baseman Chris Davis grabbed it and doubled Hill off first. 1-0 pitch also misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Matt Harrison started, went 3 innings, gave up both Cub runs on 3 hits and a walk, and struck out 3. Here's the 2-0 from Jennings. It is low. And Jason in danger of walking the leadoff man for the second straight inning. Jason had 6 starts last year. Rangers were 0-6 in those starts before his season-ending elbow surgery. Ball 3 misses, and a 4-pitch walk to Ryan Theriot to lead off the bottom of the sixth in a 2-2 tie. Ryan 0 for 2 with an RBI ground ball in the third and a strikeout. Now Derek Lee, who was 0 for 2. He has lined to center and been caught looking. Theriot, the lead off first. Lee, who was a .250 hitter this spring before today, takes the ball inside, and 5 pitches have all missed here in the 6th inning for Jason Jennings, the Dallas native, who will turn 31 in July, hoping to stick and hoping to be healthy with his hometown team this year. Ball 2 and a breaking ball low and outside. These first 6 pitches have missed pretty badly. Maybe one has been borderline for the home plate umpire, Brian Gorman, at all. To Terrio and now Lee. From the stretch, the 2-0 swung on and popped up into right field. Bird in his tracks, now in maybe a couple of steps, and is there for the out. Derek Lee does Jennings a huge favor by swinging. That is always a surprise to me when you see a pitcher start an inning the way Jennings has. Why not take a strike, maybe even take 2?
You know, I guess maybe that's the difference between spring training and the regular season. A guy like Derek Lee, he's up there wanting to get his swings, not necessarily concerned about the W that might go on the board at the end of this game for the Cubs.
Well, he took his swing and hit it directly to Bird and right. Here's Milton Bradley, and Jennings starts him with the ball. Milton singled and scored the game's first run in the second. Grounded to first last time up. Terrio goes, pitch is high, Saltamakia's throw bounces in, and Terrio in there with a stolen base. Saltamakia had a pretty good pitch to throw on, high and away, but did not get off a good throw. So Ryan Terrio in scoring position with 1 out, and Bradley ahead of the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Luis Rivas, who has replaced Aramis Ramirez at third, on deck. 2-0 pitch is lofted to the shortstop, Andrews, who backs out into short left field and makes the catch for out number 2. Not as difficult to catch as he made to Rob Aaron Miles, ending the second inning. Little line drive humpback off the fist. Bradley is retired, and now here's Rivas hitting for the first time today. Ramirez was 2 for 2 with an infield hit and a double. Rivas hitting .250 this spring, 4 for 16, all singles. 2-2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Runner on second, 2 men out, and again Jennings starts with the ball. He has been behind all 4 hitters he's faced here in the inning. From the stretch, a look at second. And the pitch in the dirt, 2 balls and no strikes. The only 2 pitches that Jennings has put in the strike zone are the 2 outs. One Derek Lee swung on after the 4-pitch walk to Terrio at 2-0, the fly ball to Bird and right. And Bradley popped out on the 2-0 pitch as well. Here's the 2-0 to Rivas, and it's a breaking ball in there. 2-1. Reed Johnson, the center fielder, on deck. Cubs trying to end a 5-game losing streak, all close, all decided by no more than 2 runs. Breaking ball low and away. 3 balls and a strike to Rivas. And even if Jennings gets out of this inning without allowing a run, he will not look at it as an example of his sharpest work at all. There's a breaking ball in there, and the count runs full.
And this is not one of those parks where we have access to the radar gun readings. They don't seem to have them posted anywhere on that little scoreboard out there. So we're not sure if he's exceeding the 89 miles per hour that he was able to hit last time.
From the stretch, look at second. And steps off the rubber, and Terrio will walk back to the bag. He'll be going with 2 outs and a full count for the right-handed hitter Rivas. Jennings trying to keep him from getting the best jump possible. Here's a swing and a chop foul past the third base coaching box, where Mike Quaddy sees it bounce off the wall and all the way out to David Murphy in left, who tosses a souvenir into the stands. Cubs are minus 8 players who are taking part in the World Baseball Classic, including Ted Lilly on the starting staff for the U.S. team. Here's the 3-2, swung on and popped just between second base and the mound, and coming on to take it is Kinsler. And so despite the leadoff walk to Terrio and the stolen base, and despite being behind every hitter, Jennings allows no runs on no hits in the 6th inning. And we head to the 7th, still 2-2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
My grandpa said he had to do something very important. Grandma had to go out for just a little bit. Grandpa said he won't be long.
When fall comes around, it's time to get out for your annual flu shot.
He'll be right back. Nana always hurries home.
The CDC recommends that all seniors get a shot to protect against influenza.
I'm keeping Grandpa's favorite seat warm for him.
Because the flu can cause serious problems.
Grandma makes the best cookies. But don't tell Mom.
Each year, complications from the flu cause an average of 36,000 deaths.
Papa never misses lunch.
So be sure to get your shot soon.
When Grandpa gets back, we're going to wrestle.
After all, it's important to a lot of people. Be smart. Be well. Get your flu shot.
Grandpa's home.
Call 1-800-CDC-INFO for more information. A public service message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Now we'll hear Ben playing Mozart's Violin Concerto.
Ben's rendition is awful because he's playing a violin with a banana. But bananas could help you become a better violin player. Eating fruits with potassium and other nutrients help your muscles work better. So when it comes to making music, bananas can be instrumental after all. Run, throw, think, eat better. Can your food do that? Find out at smallstep.gov.
That's smallstep.gov.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This isn't your handwriting.
Everyone does it. It's called sharing.
Isn't that just another word for cheating?
Talk with your children about the important things, because if you don't, who will? A thought from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
On to the 7th inning now in Mesa. Rangers 2 and the Cubs 2. A reminder that kids 13 and under can sign up now for the Junior Rangers Club presented by Dr. Pepper. As a member of the Rangers Kids Fan Club, you will receive 8 ticket vouchers, a chance to hear from Rangers players at the Meet the Rangers series, a backpack, and a cap. Sign up, visit TexasRangers.com. Fifth pitcher of the day is left-hander Neil Kotz, and he starts Chris Davis with a strike. Several other changes for Chicago here in the 7th. In a 2-2 tie, Kotz works quickly and misses low and away to Chris Davis, who has lined into a double play, walked and scored. Micah Hoffpower, the Fort Worth native, is at first base, swinging and a miss. 1-2 to Davis. Andres Blanco has replaced Terrio at short. Sam Fuld is in center field. As pitch is a call, strike 3 to Davis on the outside corner at the knee. 1 gone in the 7th. And 4 consecutive strikeouts by Ranger hitters. Jose Escanio struck out the side. Young, Hamilton, and Bird all swinging in the 6th. And now Davis down looking to begin the 7th. Another defensive change here for the Cubs, with Sam Fuld taking over in center field. Reed Johnson moves to right and replaces Milton Bradley. So Doug Deeds, Sam Fuld, and Reed Johnson in the outfield. First pitch to Saltalamacchia is fouled off. Jarrett is grounded to third, walked and scored. Davis and Salty both scoring after walking off Luis Vizcaíno in his wild 5th inning. Ian Kinsler delivered him with a 2-run single. Pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the Rangers switch hitting catcher batting right against the lefty Kotz. Pitch fastball right in there at the belt. And Kotz works ahead 1-2. Cub pitchers consistently ahead of the Ranger hitters in the count. They've allowed only 3 hits so far. Here's the 1-2, swung on and missed, and 5 straight strikeouts now by Ranger batters, and we're talking the heart of the order here. Michael Young, Josh Hamilton, Marlon Byrd, Chris Davis, and Jared Saltalamacchia, all strikeout victims of Jose Escanio and Neil Kotz in the 6th and 7th. So 2 outs now, and Elvis Andrus, who is 0 for 2, will try to at least make some contact. First pitch misses away. Justin Smoke has moved out into the on-deck circle, and he will bat in the pitcher's spot. Here's a line drive and a base hit to right field. Andrus now 1 for 3, and he puts it in to the 5 strikeout scheme put together by Escanio and Kotz in the 6th and 7th inning. 1-0 pitch drilled on one hop into right field by the Ranger shortstop. And now Justin Smoke, pinch hitting in the number 9 spot. Jason Jennings is done after 2 innings. He struck out 1, walked 2, but no hits, and kept it at 2-2. First pitch is in there to Smoke. The Rangers promising minor league first baseman. He will get his day at some point. It's just a matter of when there's room. Switch hitter bidding right. Check and a throw over to first, and Andrus is back standing.
Interesting challenge here for Andrus. Kott's a guy who's got a decent pickoff move, but can be run on. You wonder if Andrus has a green light to go here with 2 outs.
Smoke hitting .417 in the spring, and takes the ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Justin 5 for 12 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Almost always makes loud contact. 1-1 pitch taken, but in there on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Justin has Chris Davis to contend with at first. Of course, Hank Blaylock used there some as well. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and for the second straight innings, the Cubs bullpen strikes out the side. Escanio getting Young, Hamilton, and Byrd in the 6th, and Kotz comes in and gets Davis, Saltalamacchia, and Smoke in the 7th, allowing only the 2-out single to right by Andrus. So stretch time here in Mesa, 2-2 tie. We're on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Personalize your home with a Mueller metal roof. With over 30 designer colors to choose from and several distinctive panel styles, Mueller can help make your home what you want it to be. And with limited paint warranties up to 30 years, a Mueller metal roof will beautify and protect your home for decades. You can also buy with confidence, knowing that your metal roof is manufactured by Mueller. Find out more about Mueller Roofing today. Call 877-2-MUELLER or visit us online at MuellerInc.com.
Who's ready to hear some fun facts about Geico? All right, let's give it a go, shall we? First, over 3 million drivers switched to Geico last year. Second, Geico received a customer satisfaction rate of 97%. Third, Geico has been providing car insurance for over 70 years. Whoa, hold up a tick. These aren't fun facts at all. These are financially sound facts. We've been duped.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you hundreds on car insurance.
Before the bottom of the 7th begins, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Mel Hughes catching. Into
the bottom of the 7th now, in a 2-2 tie. Changes for the Rangers now. Their fourth pitcher of the day is the young left-handed Derek Holland. New center fielder is Julio Bourbon, who replaces Josh Hamilton. Adam Melhuse behind the plate now, and Saltalamacchia is done for the day. And Omar Vizquel is the new second baseman in place of Ian Kinsler, who has delivered the only two Ranger runs today. A two-run single in the fifth to tie it at 2. That's where we still are, now in the bottom of the seventh inning. New third baseman is Travis Metcalf, who was on for Michael Young. And the first batter for Chicago here in the bottom half of the seventh, Reed Johnson, who was 0 for 2. First pitch from Holland is a fastball in there on the outside half, 0-1. Johnson began the day in center field and has moved over to right. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play and grounded to short last time up. Fastball inside, 1-1 from Holland. This is his third appearance in 3 innings. Has allowed 4 hits. And 3 runs. Swing and a foul pop right on top of us and over the roof. And it's 1-2.
He had a real bad first outing, and last time turned it around and looked a lot more like a guy who could be on the verge of pitching in the majors by the end of the season.
That is the Rangers' fervent hope, along with Neftali Feliz. The Ranger fireballers of the future. Here's the 1-2, foul back to the screen. Aaron Miles still in the game on deck. And then the number 8 spot occupied by the catcher Hill. Holland working deliberately from the wide, and the pitch is just inside. Maybe a little low as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Derek, 22, born in Newark, Ohio. Split last year between 3 different minor league spots. Swing and a soft fly ball into right field. On a few steps is Bird. He makes the catch, and Johnson is retired to begin the bottom of the seventh. 3 down, 0 for 3. Aaron Miles now. He is 0 for 2. Robbed on a line drive by Andrews. Leaping grab to end the second. Bounced to first his last time up. Holland last year was 7-0 at its first stop at Clinton with a 240 earned run average in 17 starts. First pitch outside. Moved on to Bakersfield, 3-1 in 5 games there with a 319 earned run average. Struck out 37 in 31 innings. Before moving on to Double-A Frisco, where he was 3-0 with an 069. 1-0 pitch, grounded to second. Vizquel on to Davis for out number 2. So as Holland kept moving on in 08, he kept getting more and more impressive. He struck out, again, more batters than innings faced within innings pitched at Frisco, 29 Ks in 26 innings. And they're allowed only 14 hits. So he was basically unhittable as he moved up to Double-A last year. 25th round pick 3 years ago. First pitch to Hill, the catcher, is inside. 5 straight set down after the leadoff walk by Terrio by a wild Jason Jennings last inning. Swinging a foul back over the screen, bounces off the wall to our right, and then grabbed on a nice rebound by a lady wearing Cubs memorabilia down to our right. Good reflexes on the hop off the wall. 1-1 pitch in the air on the outside corner. 1-2. Holland in his first Major League spring camp, a non-roster invitee who has impressed enough for all of us to look to a good future for him. Ground ball behind the bag at second. Vizquel there to make the throw, not in time, and an infield single with 2 outs here in the 7th for Hill.
Pretty good range shown by the 41-year-old and going to get that ball, but Omar really didn't have a shot to get him.
That'll bring up a pinch hitter in the number 9 spot, and that'll be Jason DuBois. So Kotz pitched only the 7th inning, struck out the side, and allowed the 2-out single to Andrews. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th with a runner at first. And the first pitch outside, 1-0. Jason DuBois out of Virginia Beach. Right-hand hitter, age 30, takes outside again. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's a former high prospect for the Cubs. He didn't make it, bounced around, and now he's on a second go-round here.
Spent 2000 through 2005 with the Cubs. In the majors, 04 and 05, and then back down to the minors. Fastball in there on the outside corner. DuBois thought it was ball 3. It's 2 balls and a strike. One time listed as one of their top 10 prospects by Baseball America. From the same school that produced the Cubs starting pitcher today, Sean Marshall, Virginia Commonwealth. Holland ready. The 2-1 pitch just misses outside. Trying to mix them up. Previous pitch caught the inside corner. This one just misses on the other side of the plate. So 3-1 to DuBois. We'll see if he can keep the inning going. Doug Deeds batting for Soriano in the on-deck circle. Swing and a miss, and the count runs full. Cubs have out-hit the Rangers 5-4. They have not scored since the 3rd. Both runs off the Ranger starter Matt Harrison in his 3 innings. Allowed 3 hits, struck out 3, walked 1. Since then, Frank Francisco an inning, Jason Jennings 2, and now Holland. Swing and a chopper at 3rd. Short hop by Metcalf. The throw with a nice stretch by Davis in time, and DuBois is retired to end the 7th. Only an infield single by Hill as we go to the 8th inning. Still the Rangers 2 and the Cubs 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
If you have land that's now a safe place for wildlife, how can you be sure it will always stay that way? How can you protect your land and the animals on it from hunting, trapping, and development? Only one national organization can promise to keep your land as safe as it is today, the Wildlife Land Trust. We've been part of the Humane Society of the United States for more than a decade. Each year, millions of animals are killed or injured by hunting and trapping. Millions of acres of wildlife habitat are lost to development and other activities. But you can keep it from happening on your land. Call us. We'll talk with you about making your land a permanent wildlife sanctuary. We'll tell you how we can protect your land into the future. The call will take a moment. The good results for wildlife and your land can last for all time. Call 1-800-729-SAVE. That's 1-800-729-SAVE.
And now we have an 8-year-old on the line. Welcome to Our World Today. What's your question?
Our continents make up 29% of the Earth's surface, meaning that 71% is comprised of water. Man automatically adapts to environmental conditions. So why do I need to take swimming lessons?
Are you ready for kids who eat healthy? Good nutrition can lead to great things. To find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed, go to mypyramid.gov. Brought to you by the Ad Council and USDA.
Don't forget America's veterans. Log on to thankyouveterans.org and write a thank you card to a veteran for their service to our country. A public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Ranger pitchers have allowed only 3 runs over 16 innings the last 2 days. As we move to the 8th, once again, here's Eric Nadell.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Omar Vizquel will lead things off. He's at the top of the order, and the first pitch from a new right-hander, Chad Fox, is low for a ball. Wellington Castillo is the new catcher for the Cubs. Vizquel, switch hitter, batting left, hitting .313. He's 5 for 16 this spring with 3 RBIs. And the 41-year-old infielder takes low 2-0. Vizquel in the top spot, previously occupied by Ian Kinsler. Ian went 1 for 3 with a 2-run single that tied the game in the 5th inning. That came off Luis Vizcaíno. The Cubs had scored single runs in the 2nd and 3rd off Matt Harrison. The 2-0 pitch, it's a strike, 2-1. On deck is David Murphy with Travis Metcalf to follow and Julio Bourbon in the hole. Fox, a veteran right-hander to say the least, out of Conroe, Texas, now lives in Spring. He's 38 years old, and he misses inside. It is 3-1. He's trying to come back from right elbow surgery 3 years ago. He didn't pitch in 06 or 07, and last year he was in just 3 games with the Cubs and 4 games on rehab in their minor league system. 3-1, and he bounces one into the plate. It is ball 4. Chad Fox has pitched previously for the Brewers and the Red Sox and the Florida Marlins, as well as the Cubs in 05. And he's on for the 4th time this spring, unscored upon in 3 innings. Well, leadoff walk to Vizquel creates all kinds of possibilities here in the 8th inning in a tie ball game. Neil Kotz worked a scoreless 7th, struck out the side, and permitted a base hit. And here's Murphy 1 for 3. They have the third baseman Rivas in on the grass, the first baseman Hoffpower holding Vizquel. The pitch, that's in there for a strike, and Fox went with a very slow delivery to the plate, a real high leg kick, no sort of a slide step whatsoever. Vizquel, of course, is not the base-stealing threat he used to be, but still runs pretty well. Another high leg kick, and the pitch to Murphy is fouled back, and it's 0-2. Last year, Omar stole 5 bases in 92 games with the Giants. The year before, playing as a regular in an injury-free season, he stole 14 bases. And, of course, back in his prime with the Indians, he was a regular 30-base stealer, and twice he stole over 40. He has 385 career steals. He's at first, nobody out, 0-2 to Murphy, and the pitch is belted. Deep right field. Down the line, it's hooking at the foul pole. It is foul. Oh, what a ride David Murphy gave that ball toward the party tent beyond the bullpens in right. Hit it over the foul pole, but just on the wrong side. And David Murphy very slowly walks back to the plate.
Had to be at least 400 feet. Foul by maybe 1 foot.
Down the line, Gary Darling, the veteran umpire, making the call there. Here comes the 0-2 to David, and he just missed with it. Now, it was Murphy who decided yesterday's game with a home run, leading off the 5th inning to break a scoreless tie. The Rangers held on to win 2-1. This game is deadlocked 2-2. High set by Fox, high leg kick, and the pitch bounces in. Nice block by Wellington Castillo, the new catcher. 4 hits, all the Rangers have managed in the game. 5 hits for the Cubbies. The Rangers have drawn 4 walks, and they've struck out 9 times. They came into the game hitting .289 and averaging over 5.5 runs a game. And they've doubled in every game they've played this spring, but not this one. This club, of course, set a major league record for doubles last year. Throw to first base, and Vizquel is back, finally. Somebody from the Cubs dugout probably lets Fox know he probably should pay a little attention to Vizquel. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the set, and the pitch. Just low with the fastball. Fox thought he had it. He is not happy with Brian Gorman. You could read it in the body language, the way he took one stomping stride off the mound on the first base side before going to his mouth with the fingers of his right hand. Now Fox back on there at 3-2. Here's the set. There goes Vizquel. The pitch is swung on and a high fly ball lofted to right center field. On the run, Fold and Johnson, and it's Johnson, the right fielder, who hauls it down in the alley. And Vizquel, who was all the way down at second base, has to retreat to first, as Murphy is allowed out. 1 out in the 8th, a runner at first, a 2-2 tie, and Travis Metcalf coming up for the first time. Metcalf coming on defensively at third for Michael Young, who was nothing for 3 today. Travis is 5 for 21 this spring. He's hitting .238 with 1 run batted in. Tomorrow we'll be on the air again at 3 o'clock Central Time. Rangers and Dodgers from Surprise, and Kevin Millwood will pitch for Texas. The pitch to Metcalf is a strike. Claudio Vargas, the veteran, expected to be on the hill for the Dodgers. And then Tuesday, the first webcast of the year, free on TexasRangers.com and MLB.com. John Blake will be handling the honors for the Rangers-Giants game on Tuesday. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Check swing on a slider. He went around. 0-2. And Dave, this year, last game for a while. And, man, it's been great.
I have to somehow make the adjustment from perfection in Arizona to whatever it is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. First of my 4 postseason basketball tournaments.
0-2 pitch, a little low. Steve Busby will be arriving later on in the week to fill in for Dave. Tom Grieve will do the honors tomorrow, filling in for Dave on our broadcast. And then Dave will be back with us for the exhibition in Frisco on April the 3rd. Pitch is outside. Metcalf a check swing, and he did not go around. 2-2. Remember, the Rangers have an exhibition game at home on the 4th of April, which apparently sold tickets very well yesterday. There's a special there, a 4-4 special, where you can get tickets for just $4, and some additional extras themed around 4, including a coupon for a Route 44 drink at Sonic. So you can pick those up at TexasRangers.com. $4 tickets for the 4-4 exhibition game Saturday afternoon against the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, the single game tickets that went on sale yesterday, selling at a rate 13% better than last year when they went on sale. It's going to be a very interesting, enjoyable team to watch.
The runner goes, the pitch is fouled off. Well, the Rangers last year, remember, were 6 games above 500 before David Murphy got hurt in early August, and then with Murphy getting hurt, followed shortly thereafter by the Kinsler season-ending injury. The Rangers wound up losing 14 of their next 17 games, but they were very much in the wild card hunt in early August at 60-54 when Murphy got hurt. Good young team that plays hard. And as we discussed with Evan Grant back in the 5th inning, a young starting rotation except for Padilla and Millwood, and these guys have looked good so far. There goes Omar. The pitch is popped up. Right center field. Again, it's Johnson and Fold into the alley. This time it's Fold, the center fielder, who cuts in front and makes the catch. And there are 2 outs. So Chad Fox, after a leadoff walk to Omar Vizquel, has battled to get Murphy and Metcalf, and it's now up to Julio Bourbon. Try and get the tie-breaking run home in a 2-2 game. Josh Hamilton today was 1 for 3. And here's Bourbon. Julio, 2 for 11. I knew I'd do that sometime this spring. 1 RBI. Wearing Rusty Greer and Pete Incaviglia's old number 29. Deeply bent at the knees from the left side. Out of the University of Tennessee. There goes Vizquel. The pitch is low. The throw to second base is late and blocked by the shortstop Blanco as it arrived on 2 bounces from the catcher Wellington Castillo. And Omar Vizquel has stolen second base and moved into scoring position as the go-ahead run. Not a real easy pitch to throw on. It was down. And Castillo, after digging it out of the dirt, literally threw the ball from his knees and bounced it on 2 hops to second. So now a base hit by Bourbon could break the tie. Marlon Byrd is waiting on deck. We are in the top half of the 8th inning. I'll look back at second base by Fox. Here's the pitch to Bourbon, and Julio lets it go in the dirt. It's blocked by Castillo, but it rolls away over toward the Rangers' dugout. And over to third base goes Vizquel on a wild pitch. And now Omar just 90 feet away from tying up the ball game, and Bourbon has count leverage at 2-0. Well, one more pitch like that could tie this game without the ball being even put in play. Fox will work from the stretch. Vizquel getting a very big lead at third as Rivas, the third baseman, plays way off the line. And the pitch is extremely outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Perhaps Fox is going to pitch around the lefty here, Bourbon, and deal with the righty, Marlon Byrd. And that pitch was nowhere close. It is 3-0. Here it comes. Bourbon takes inside, ball 4. So Julio takes off the shin guard, runs down to first base. Bourbon last year divided the year between Bakersfield and Frisco and stole a total of 53 bases. So with runners at first and third here and 2 outs, you certainly don't rule out the possibility of Bourbon going in motion at first. With Vizquel, the potential go-ahead run on what could be a double steal. And Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, going out to the mound and having a conversation with not only his battery but also his middle infielders. A little bit of strategy talk, no doubt, in the case that the Rangers do start the runner. And a chance to remind you that the Rangers Welcome Home Luncheon is coming up Wednesday, April 8th at the Arlington Convention Center, presented by United Service Association for Healthcare. For more information, go to TexasRangers.com. Tables of 8 are available, including a Ranger celebrity, and you can buy individual tickets, too. Bird 0 for 3. Swings, loops one to left. It's falling fast. It's a base hit. In to score is Omar Vizquel. On a single by Bird, the Rangers take a 3-2 lead.
Well, the leadoff walk comes back to bite Fox. Jason Jennings got away with walking the leadoff man in both of his innings. But Fox, after walking Vizquel and then allowing the stolen base, followed by the walk and the wild pitch on the at-bat by Bourbon, and Bird, rather than waiting to see if he would stay wild, liked the first pitch he saw. Did he ever?
Here's Chris Davis, and he takes a strike on an off-speed pitch away. So Marlon Byrd picks up his second RBI of the spring. He's now 1 for 4 today. Brandon Boggs runs for him at first. Davis is 0 for 2 in a walk. He's lined into a double play and struck out. He has scored a run. And the pitch from Fox is a strike on the outside corner. Adam Melhuse is on deck. Derek Holland now stands to be the winner. He is the pitcher of record. And there's no one up in the Ranger bullpen right now. It looks like Holland might get another inning. The pitch waved at and missed. Davis chased a splitter, it appeared, in the dirt. That'll end the inning, but not before the Rangers take the lead. A run on a hit and 2 men left. And after 7.5, it is now the Rangers 3 and the Cubs 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Paul Blight is at Paradise Point on Richland Chambers Lake today, just an hour from DFW. Paul, I've given up on the stock market. I'm going to put money into land.
Oh, that's a great idea. Right now, we're actually is the best time to do that. We're going to be doing $25,000 off every single property. It's a huge closeout sale, March 14th and 15th. You can get a dockable deepwater property for just $59.9, or I've got a lake access for only $19.9.
You know, just an hour from DFW on Richland Chambers Lake, you're on Paradise Point, which is a peninsula going into the lake, and all you see, it seems like it's water.
It's a peninsula with the road going perfectly down the center of it. You've got water views on both sides, and when you get to the very tip of it, that's when you get those huge ocean views.
All right, now this is a big event coming up March 14th and 15th. The closeout sale, no closing cost, $25,000 savings on every property. What's the phone number? Have to have an appointment to go out there.
That phone number is 888-305-LAKE. That's 888-305-5253.
Or you can check out the website, liveparadisepoint, with an E on the end of the word point.com.
$11,082 on hand at Hohokam Park this afternoon on a hazy day. Temperature right around 70 degrees and no wind at all. And Derek Holland will take a 3-2 Texas lead to the mound for the bottom of the 8th inning. Some defensive changes for the Rangers. Greg Golson is now in the game in right field, and he's batting second. Brandon Boggs, who pinch ran for Marlon Byrd, is the new left fielder. Chris Davis and Elvis Andrus have gone all the way so far. At first base and shortstop, respectively. And here's Holland for his second inning of work. He allowed just a single in the seventh inning. And Derek to face the top of the Cubs batting order, which now includes Doug Deeds, Andres Blanco, and Micah Hoffpower. That is the current Chicago Cubs top three in the batting order, we think. Doug Deeds out of Ohio State University, sporting the number 66. He's up there left-handed, getting some playing time this spring. He's 4 for 20, 3 RBIs. First pitch is a fastball high from Holland. Again, we don't have access to radar gun readings, but Holland appears to have the usual zip on his fastball today. The youngster works in short sleeves, worth the number 67. He deals 1-0, and there's a strike on a fastball away. 1-1. Alfonso Soriano was the leadoff batter at the start for the Cubs today, and Fonzie went 0 for 2 and a walk. He struck out and lined into a double play with Chris Davis making a leaping stab in the fifth inning. 1-1, and the pitch, a swing and a chopper foul up the first baseline. In World Baseball Classic play today, the Dominican leads Panama 5-0 in the bottom of the sixth inning. The loser of that game will be out. Johnny Cueto started that game, worked into the fifth inning, and was relieved by Julian Tavares. 1-2, swing and a miss. Good breaking ball from Holland, and down goes Deeds. 1 out in the bottom of the eighth. 3-2 Texas. Each team with 5 hits today. And Andres Blanco coming up next. Blanco, a former Kansas City Royals prospect from Venezuela. Blanco played at AAA Iowa in the Cubs system all of last year and batted .285. A guy who broke into the big leagues back in 2004 with the Royals. They had high hopes for him, but although he hit .317 in 60 at-bats that first year, he never really hit after that. Swinging from the right side, he takes a little low and a bit inside from Derek Holland for ball one. Harrison, Francisco, Jennings, and Holland have been the 4 Ranger pitchers. They've all been good today. Harrison gave up 2 runs in 3 innings, but threw the ball well, and the runs were soft runs against him. 1-0, swinging a foul at the plate, one of them largely as a result of a wild pitch and an infield hit, and the other a double, a sac bunt, and an infield out. So Ranger pitching the last couple of days, exceptional. And earlier in the week, they had back-to-back games in which they allowed just 3 runs each day. Their pitching has been very good the last time through the rotation, starting with Kevin Millwood Wednesday, and he'll pitch again tomorrow. 1-1 pitch, fouled off to the right. 1-2. So this has been a very encouraging trip through the Ranger rotation over the last 5 ball games. And if the Rangers win today, it would be 5 wins in their last 6 tries, and they would get their spring record up to 7-4. Not that spring records mean anything, as we found out rather dramatically last year when the Rangers had a terrific spring and then came out of the gate 7-16. But it's nice to see good pitching. 1-2, grounded to second base, a hard skimmer right to Vizquel. He's got it, straightens and throws, and there are 2 outs. Rangers up 3-2, and coming up next is Micah Hoffpower, the slugging first baseman from Jacksonville, Texas, and Lamar University, who's having a very power-laden spring. 2 homers and 9 RBIs. He's the leading RBI man in the Cactus League. He's batting .281. And he is a left-handed batter to go lefty versus lefty. 6'3", 215-pounder who was actually born in Fort Worth, but raised in Jacksonville. Hit .342 for the Cubs last year in 73 at-bats and a late call-up. The pitch drilled to right, base hit down the line. Greg Golson over to cut it off. Hoffpower will hold at first base with a 2-out single, and the Cubs have the tying run on in the 8th in a 3-2 game. The cleanup spot had been occupied by Milton Bradley for most of the game, but we're going to get a pinch hitter right here for the Cubs in Jake Fox. Jake Fox is coming out here to pinch hit. He is a right-handed batter, 26 years old, who divided the year last year between AAA Iowa and AA Tennessee. Jake Fox this spring is hitting .321, and he's had a lot of playing time. He's 9 for 28 with 2 home runs and 6 runs batted in, a former third-round pick in 2003 out of the University of Michigan. So again, with all those Cubs gone in the World Baseball Classic, Fukudomi specifically as the outfielder, some others getting some playing time, and Fox has made the most of it so far. So it's Jake Fox against Derek Holland, and here's the pitch. Strike call. Luis Rivas is waiting on deck in the 5-hole. Milton Bradley today was 1 for 3 and scored a run in the second inning after a ground ball single up the middle. The pitch, down and away with a fastball. It's 1-1. Derek Holland, rated by Baseball America as the number 3 prospect in the Rangers system, behind Neftali Feliz and Justin Smoke, and the number 31 prospect in the nation. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a lob over to first base. Hoffbauer, not taking a very big lead, just steps back on the bag. The Rangers are giving Jake Fox the alley in left center. They have the center fielder Bourbon several strides over toward right. Metcalf backed up at third base, a step and a dive off the line, not truly guarding it. And the pitch is down low. Make it 2 balls and a strike. Andrus at short is straight up. Vizquel maybe 1 step toward the middle at second. The sun has just never broken through this afternoon. We've played under a light overcast all day. They do have lights here, but they have not been turned on. 2-1 pitch, strike call over the outside corner, and it's 2-2. The Cubs in danger of losing their 6th consecutive game. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A short lead at first for Hoffbauer. Holland set at the letters and throws over to first and back, standing up as Hoffbauer. That was a good move by Derek Holland, who hung the right foot in the air momentarily. Almost froze the runner over there before firing over. I think that's the best pickoff move we have seen Holland feature this spring in his 3 times on the mound.
And the throw itself is a little bit high. Surprised Chris Davis.
2-2. Here's the pitch outside. He threw a changeup there and missed with it. And the count is full, which means that Hoffbauer will get a running start here. 3-2 with 2 outs. And the Rangers on top 3-2 on the strength of Marlon Byrd's single in the top of the 8th with 2 outs, scoring Omar Vizquel, who had a big steal of second base. Peering in for the sign is Holland. The lefty is set, and the payoff pitch is on the way. Outside and high, ball 4. Jake Fox walks. Hoffbauer trots down to second. And Luis Rivas will be the batter. Rivas, the veteran infielder from Venezuela, spent some time as a regular in the Minnesota Twins organization. Has bounced around a little bit since then. He's 0 for 1 in this ball game after coming on in the middle innings. And he is 4 for 17 this spring. Adam Melius goes out to the mound, has a word with his pitcher Derek Holland. A 2-out rally for the Cubs. Single by Hoffbauer. Walk by Fox. Sam Fuld. No, I'm sorry. It is Reed Johnson who is due next if this inning continues. Rivas last year with the Pirates hit .218 and 200 at bats, and he takes a strike. He was the regular second baseman for the Twins back in 2001, 2003, 2004. Played his way out of their good graces. No balls and a strike. Holland checks second base. Checks again. Now comes home. Missed outside. The count is 1-1. Rivas, a minor league free agent signee, as a AAA invitee to spring training. He is not on the 40-man. Holland working 1-1. And here it comes. Fastball outside. Holland now missing consistently away to the right-handed batters.
But not by much, and I think he's probably frustrated with some reason. going for the corners, maybe a little bit too much, but hardly missing at all. Brian Borman's got a very tight strike zone today.
Here comes the 2-1. A swing and a shot to the gap in right center field. On the run is Bourbon. He's there, and he backhands it to end the inning. Julio, a left-handed thrower, makes a running catch. He got a great jump, a great read on that ball. And Rivas has flied out to end the threat. Holland gets out of the jam. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We've completed 8. It's the Rangers 3 and the Cubs 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Dad, can I ask you something?
Sure, what's up?
There's this girl I kind of like.
Well, if there's one thing I know, it's women.
Really?
Well, they didn't call me Velvet for nothing.
I don't get it.
Smooth. I was smooth.
Oh.
Anyway, it's easy. You just got to impress her. Show her how strong you are.
Okay, but how?
Just, I don't know, pick up a lot of heavy things around her.
Like what?
I don't know, desks, chairs, people. Grunt, if you have to.
Grunt?
Yeah, be like, ugh. Try it. Ugh. See, there you go. And you should dress up. Start wearing a shirt and tie.
I'll look like a dork.
No, you'll look successful.
Okay.
And finally, you can start using my cologne. The ladies love it, so don't be shy. Splash it on.
Thanks, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference. To find out how you can adopt, please visit our website at adoptuskids.org or call 1-888-200-4005. A public service announcement brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Nathan with the Jonas Brothers. And our mom wants to tell you how your family can join researchers in the fight against type 1 diabetes.
We want you to know about a simple blood test that may be able to detect an increased risk for type 1 diabetes up to 10 years before symptoms appear. This test is available to eligible family members of people with type 1 diabetes through an international research effort led by the National Institutes of Health.
To learn more, call 1-800-425-8361, 1-800-425-8361, or visit diabetestrialnet.org.
USO care packages are full of the little things that send an enormous message to our troops. Little things like, we'll never forget you. We're all about the little things. We're the USO. So are you. Find out more at USO.org.
Eric Nadel with Dave Barnett as we go to the ninth in Mesa, Arizona. The Rangers lead the Cubs 3-2 at Hohokam Park. And Kevin Hart, a resident of Plano, is on to pitch. Hart, 6'4", 220-pounder, 26 years of age, out of the University of Maryland, acquired by the Cubs after the 06 season for Freddie Bynum. Last year was in 21 games in the big leagues, had a 6.51 ERA, all in relief, and spent most of the rest of the year at AAA Iowa with a brief stop in AA Tennessee. Kevin Hart, wearing the number 22, on to pitch to Adam Melius, then Elvis Andrus, and then a pinch hitter for the pitcher, you'd expect. Melius swings on the first pitch, rolls one through on the right side into right field, a base hit. Perfectly placed between the second baseman and the first baseman. And Adam Melius is aboard. And Melius this spring is hitting .750. He's now 6 for 8 with 5 singles and a double. So Melius aboard to start the ninth. The Rangers looking for insurance. And the batter is Elvis Andrus, who's gone all the way at short. Has turned in one defensive gem with a leaping grab on a soft liner. And he's 1 for 3 at the plate. See if he's laying one down here. He is not. And the pitch is inside. Derek Holland is on deck. So it's conceivable that Holland is going to finish this ball game and may actually get to stand in the batter's box for a few pitches, as Matt Harrison did when he struck out looking in the third under orders not to swing the bat. 1-0, and the pitch is a breaking ball high. It is 2 balls and no strikes. The Rangers do have some available pitchers still unused, including Casey Daigle, a right-handed pitcher, and a few invitees from the minor league camp, including Brian Corey, Michael Ballard, Clayton Hamilton. 2-0. The pitch is low. 3 balls and no strikes to Elvis Andrus. In the ninth inning, the Cubs are due to send up Reed Johnson to lead it off. Johnson has moved back to center field. He started in center, moved to right. Now he's back in center. Micah Hoffpower has gone from first base to right, and Jake Fox is at first base. 3-0 pitch. Strike at the knees. Meanwhile, Nelson Cruz has just hit a home run for the Dominican Republic, and they now lead Panama 6-0 in the top of the 7th inning.
That was a short stay in the Dominican doghouse.
Never actually got benched. And he has a single that started a big rally and a home run today. 3-1. It's a strike, I guess, after manager Felipe Alou slept on it. He decided that Nelson should stay in the lineup. Fine decision it was. 6-0, the Dominican leading, and if Panama loses, they are out. (3-2). See if Mel Hughes is running. There he goes. The pitch is inside, ball 4. Andrews takes the walk. Elvis with his 3rd walk of the spring, and the Rangers cooking here in the ninth. Runners at first and second. Nobody out, and Derek Holland is advancing to the plate. And again, some of you may be wondering, why do the Rangers tell their pitchers not to swing? It's all about avoiding injury. This is a bunting situation if the game meant anything. And the question is whether the Rangers will even let Holland bunt or whether they don't want to risk the possible hand injury that a pitcher could suffer while turning to try to bunt the ball. Holland is not wearing batting gloves, so all indications are that he won't take the bat off his shoulder. He is a left-handed batter. He squares to bunt, and he offers at it and misses. Strike 1. So he has been given the go-ahead to lay one down. But there wasn't a lot of conviction in that effort.
No, that was very half-hearted, but not nearly so half-hearted as the at-bat by Matt Harrison in the 3rd.
That was fully non-hearted. There was no heart at all in that.
Bat never left the shoulder. It was actually touching his shoulder.
0-1, Holland has already squared, and the pitch is bunted at and missed. That pitch appeared to be several inches outside, and it's now 0-2 on Holland. Rangers leading 3-2 in the ninth. Mel Hughes has led off the inning with a single, followed by an Andrews walk. On deck, Omar Vizquel, who scored the go-ahead run last inning.
Seems like there'd be no harm if Ron Washington said, go up looking to bunt, and if there's no question that you can keep your hands out of the way, go ahead and try and lay one down. Both those pitches were outside, with nowhere near Holland's hands on the bat.
The corners are way up. They have a pickoff play at second, and Mel Hughes gets back as the Cubs tried to deke Mel Hughes with Blanco, the shortstop, breaking over to third base, and the second baseman, Miles, slipping in behind Adam, but he would have none of it. Cubs with a run in the second, a run in the third. Texas 2 in the 5th on a Kinsler 2-run single, 1 in the 8th on a Bird go-ahead single. Ball has not left the park today except for Murphy on a long foul. Holland shows bunt. This one's way inside as he squared and pulled the bat back. The Cubs still with the shortstop breaking over toward third. Hey, fans, you could take the Rangers online fan survey and be entered in the March toward opening day sweepstakes. One lucky winner will win a couple of tickets, 2 Ranger caps, parking, and a program for opening day April 6th against the Indians. You can log on to TexasRangers.com and take the Rangers online fan survey. 1-2. The bunt is on. It's fouled back, and that is a strikeout. Contact was made, but the ball was fouled right back into the screen by Derek Holland. So he has struck out for the first out of the top of the ninth. And now it's Omar Vizquel, who drew a walk to lead off the 8th, stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and scored on a 2-out single by Marlon Byrd to break the 2-2 tie. Each team now with 6 hits in the ballgame. Chad Fox is currently on the hook for the loss. Vizquel up there left-handed, and they have the third baseman Rivas playing on the cut of the grass, wide of the bag at third. And the pitch to Omar is a little bit up, just above the waist. And the 5'9" shortstop lets it pass by for ball 1. Vizquel in long sleeves today, long blue sleeves under the blue jersey, wearing his familiar number 13. The set, the pitch, it is way outside. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. And Larry Rothschild, the Cubs pitching coach, trotting out to the mound. He made a visit last inning in the 8th when Chad Fox was wild. And the leadoff walk to Vizquel turned into a run. In fact, all 3 runs scored by the Rangers today have been tallied by runners who reached via the free ticket. The Rangers cashing in on walks to Davis and Saltalamacchia in the 5th inning and Vizquel in the 8th inning. The Rangers, by the way, played an intra-squad game today to get some work for some of their pitchers. Thomas Diamond worked 3 innings, Doug Mathis 4 innings, and Willie Ayer an inning and a third. And that was back in Surprise. 2 balls, no strikes. Golson on deck, and the pitch to Vizquel almost crushes him. About belt high, he spins out of the way. And right now, Kevin Hart is really wild. Melius at second, a slow runner. Andrews with very good speed at first base. 3-0 to Omar. That's out of an almost straight up and down stance. Hardly bent at the knees at all. And the pitch is high ball 4. They've loaded him up. As Kevin Hart has walked a couple, and the walk parade continues for Ranger batters. 7 of them today. Melius walks over to third base, and Andrews trots down to second. They're loaded for Greg Golson with 1 out, looking to break open the ball game with the Rangers on top 3-2. Golson for his first at bat of the day. Greg hitting .412 for the spring, right-handed batter, and he almost gets hit by a curve that doesn't curve. And there is ball 1. Golson 5 for 12. The speedy outfielder acquired from the Phillies for John Mayberry in the offseason. Golson, an Austin native. 1-0. The pitch swung on, lifted foul off to the right and out of play. And the count is a ball and a strike. Mayberry apparently hit a tape measure home run yesterday in the Phillies camp. Hit one completely out of the stadium in Clearwater. And there was certainly no doubt about his ability to do that. The frequency of contact was always the problem for John Mayberry Jr., and that's been a problem for Greg Golson in his career as well. Too many strikeouts. Bases loaded, 1 out. Infield at double play depth. Here's the pitch. Swung on, high fly ball, left center field. On the run, Reed Johnson going back, way back, at the track, at the wall. That ball is history. A grand slam home run for Greg Golson. He has busted this game wide open. It's the Rangers 7 and the Cubs 2.
Well, there hadn't been a ball to leave Hohokam Park until now. Absolutely no doubt. Left center, about 30 feet to the left of the 410 mark and about 2/3 of the way up the berm, scattering the sunbathers out there. And just like that, from 2-0 down, Rangers now have scored 7 unanswered.
Greg Golson, who hit 13 home runs last year at Double-A Reading and batted .282, getting no help from any wind today. There is no wind. Metcalf takes a curve. It's a strike. 0-1 to Travis. And a fastball is high from Kevin Hart.
Almost as if he heard you mention what John Mayberry did.
That's right.
Said, hey, I can do that too.
I'll see you a long home run. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's inside for a ball, 2-1.
All the wildness finally catches up to Cubs pitchers. 7 walks.
There's a roller out to third base. Easy play for Rivas. He throws out Metcalf, 2 outs.
And of those 7 walks, now 5 have scored, including the 2 here in this inning.
Julio Bourbon is next. And the shot by Greg Golson is clearing out Hohokam Park as if someone dropped a stink bomb in here. Cubs fans streaming for the exits in what is now a 7-2 ball game in the Rangers' favor. And the pitch to Bourbon is high. Bourbon had a big walk in the 8th inning to help build a run. The set. And the pitch just misses high. It is 2-0.
Well, barring an enormous rally, this will be the 6th straight loss for the Cubs and the first that's not close. All the previous 5 decided by 1 or 2 runs.
A swing and a smash foul down into the right field corner. The at-bat continues for Bourbon. Talking to Julio before the game about his choice of colleges. He said he chose Tennessee because they were the only college to offer him a free ride, complete free ride. They had actually come down and scouted him in the Dominican. A guy who actually spent his early years in Mississippi, where his dad was working on his advanced degree.
Well, those are extremely rare in college baseball.
Yeah. Pitch is a strike.
The 8 years I've covered college baseball, one player in any of the games I've done has had a full ride.
No kidding.
And it was for Tulane, where the full rides are especially costly.
His dad taught at Mississippi State, and he was offered a partial scholarship there. Julio lofts one to short center. On to catch it is Johnson, and that'll end the inning. But the Rangers come up with 4 runs and only 2 hits. One big swing of Greg Golson's bat breaks this one open, and we're going to the bottom of the 9th. It's the Rangers 7 and the Cubs 2 on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
The IRS is one of the most feared agencies in America. They have the power to garnish your wages, put a lien on your home, and even put you in jail if you fail to file your taxes. If you owe the IRS more than $10,000 in back taxes, this message is for you. Do not try to deal with the IRS alone. Call us first. We are Effecture. We stand between you and the IRS. A founding member of Effecture was an ex-IRS agent of 19 years. Our business was built to provide clients peace of mind. We have insider knowledge about how to protect you because we know how the IRS works from the inside out. So if you owe back taxes and the interest rates and late fees are piling up, don't wait. Call us for a free, no-obligation consultation. We'll give you the details on how we can help put an end to your tax problems. Call 800-730-9729. 800-730-9729. That's 800-730-9729. 800-730-9729.
There's always something happening in the news, not just locally, but also around our great state of Texas. Now you can get more in-depth details of the top stories at LoneStarTexasNews.com. That's LoneStarTexasNews.com. While you're there, see how Texas Mutual Insurance Company has a workers' comp healthcare network that helps injured workers get the treatment they need to return to work sooner. From the leading provider of workers' compensation insurance in Texas, Texas Mutual Insurance Company. And get up to date with the Lone Star State. Go to LoneStarTexasNews.com.
Hey, here comes the 9th inning, and here comes Reed Johnson to bat for the Cubs for the 4th time today. He'll be facing Derek Holland for the 2nd time. He was the first batter faced by Holland when the left-hander came on in the 7th for Texas, and Johnson flied to right. He's 0 for 3 in the ballgame. Holland with a chance to pick up a victory today. The Rangers do have action in the bullpen behind him as Holland goes to the hill with Johnson to lead it off, to be followed by Aaron Miles, and then the catcher Wellington Castillo do. Rangers now leading 7-2, so Holland just needs to pump some strikes in. Here's the kick and the pitch, and he pumps that one outside for a ball. He's allowed 2 hits and a walk in his 2 innings of work. In the 8th inning, projecting a 1-run lead, he got Luis Rivas to fly to center field to end a 2-out threat. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, bouncing ball left side, picked by Metcalf to his left, spins around completely counterclockwise and throws out Reed Johnson. Nice play by Travis Metcalf, ranging toward the shortstop hole. And there is 1 out here in the 9th. The Rangers leading 7-2.
He had to go full speed to his left to make the pick, and then stop, whirl 360 degrees, right himself, made a perfect throw.
Right on the money. And there's 1 down for Aaron Miles, who is 0 for 3. The pitch is high for a ball. Miles robbed his first time up by Elvis Andrus on a little humpback liner in which Andrus made a leaping grab. The pitch. That is down low. 2 balls and no strikes. The Rangers do not have a double today, so that streak of doubling in every game this spring appears to be coming to an end. I hope. It better. 2-0 pitch. Fluke the center, base hit. Miles fought one off. It was in on his hands about chest high. And he gives the Cubs fans a little bit of hope here with their 7th hit of the ballgame. Each team with 7 hits. The Rangers leading 7-2. On a day in which Ferguson Jenkins was signing autographs here at Hohokam Park. He apparently appears here rather regularly during the spring.
2 of my childhood heroes, also Jimmy the Toy Cannon Wynn, who had absolutely nothing to do with the Cubs franchise. I guess it was just handy. He was signing too.
He was around. Wellington Castro, wearing the number 72, takes a wild swing, and he misses. It is 0-1. So Taguchi, the Japanese outfielder, is on deck. Holland working with 1 on, 1 out. A double play would end the game. Here's the pitch. Fastball strike at the belt. And it is 0-2. I imagine Jimmy Wynn probably hit a bunch of home runs against the Cubs.
Oh, he did that.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. Swung on and looped to right. Base hit. Not hit very hard, but dumped in front of Greg Golson. And the Cubs down by 5, have 2 men on with 1 out here in the 9th inning. And So Taguchi, the former St. Louis Cardinals outfielder, making his way to the plate on the number 9 spot.
The 2 longest home runs ever hit in the Astrodome. One was by the former Ranger manager Doug Rader, and the other was by Jimmy Wynn. If you look at him, you would never think it was physically possible. I mean, the physics of the act just seemed wrong. He was 5'9", maybe 180, and he put one in the upper deck in left field in the old Astrodome, just a few seats away from where Rader put his, and they commemorated those by painting the seat where Wynn's home run hit as a toy cannon, and then they painted the seat where Raiders came down as a rooster.
All right. Well, Ron Washington's out on the mound, and there's a rather lengthy conversation going on out there with all the Ranger infielders involved, except for Omar Vizquel, who's staying out there at second base. And it looks like Wash is going to make a pitching change here, and Derek Holland is not going to get to finish this ball game. Texas leading by the score of 7-2 with 2 men on base. So this is not a save opportunity, as Casey Daigle is being summoned from the bullpen to finish out the ball game. Holland goes 2 1/3. At the moment, he is unscored upon. He's permitted 4 hits and a walk, struck out 1 batter, and he is the pitcher of record if the Rangers hold the lead. But Casey Daigle, the right-hander, former Arizona Diamondback, is coming on to try and get the final 2 outs of this one. Rangers leading 7-2, and with a pitching change, we'll be back in a minute on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Stand by for an important announcement from the fashion world. Red is in. That's right, red. Hot red. Fire engine red. In fact, red is the new black. Specifically, Texas Rangers red. The Texas Rangers are bringing back red, and you'll see us in our bright red jerseys at every Saturday home game. I've nothing against blue. Hey, some of my best friends are blue. We're keeping the blue unis in the rotation. But red, well, red is a different matter altogether. Not just any red. Home run red. Unbelievable clutch play to win it in the 9th inning red. So when you come to Rangers Ballpark in Arlington on Saturdays, wear your red. Trust me. You're going to look good in red. Texas Rangers. Built for speed, built for power, built for fun.
April 17th to 19th is Red Out Weekend against the Royals. Get $10 tickets by entering RED as the coupon code at TexasRangers.com.
Casey Daigle is on for the 4th time this spring. Non-roster player, an invitee trying to win a spot in the bullpen. He's given up 1 run in 3 1/3 innings. Casey Daigle, big man, 6'5", listed at 242, might weigh even more than that. He is 28 years old. Last year spent the entire year at Rochester and the Minnesota organization. Had a good year there, a 3.78 ERA. Was at AAA Tucson for the Diamondbacks in 2007 and pitched 10 games in the big leagues, both in 2004 and 2006 with the D-backs. He's facing So Taguchi, who's in his first year with the Cubs, having played last year with the world champion Phillies. Taguchi with a major league career average of 279 since coming over in 2002 from the Orix Blue Wave in Japan. Right-handed batter, and the pitch is a strike. This is Taguchi's first at-bat of this ball game. He's 2 for 11 on the spring. He's a young-looking 39 years old. A lean 5'10", 170-pounder. 0-1, 2 men on, 1 out, 7-2 Texas. And a strike call on the outside corner. Fans not happy with Brian Gorman's wide plate there. And Taguchi takes a little walk away from the plate. Taguchi first made the majors in Japan back in 1992. And he was on the World Series roster for the Phillies, although he did not get into any games. 0-2. Daigle set. Here's the pitch. Slider low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 7 runs, 7 hits for the Rangers. 2 runs, 8 hits now for the Cubs. On what was a hazy day when we started and is now just basically cloudy. Daigle with the glove tucked against his left thigh, taking a little too much time for Taguchi, who calls time and steps out. Taguchi also won a World Series ring with the Cardinals in 2006, so he's a winner. 1-2 pitch, a swing a little topper foul. He wears the number 99. As that ball rolls off the screen in front of the Rangers dugout, we'll pause for station identification. We're back in 10 on the Rangers Radio Network. One ball and 2 strikes to count. Miles at second base, Castillo at first base. Doug Deeds on deck. And the 1-2 pitch that hit him. Plunked him in the ribs, and that loads the bases. Bases loaded, 1 out. Rangers leading 7-2. And Casey Daigle now at least has a force at any base. As Miles moves over to third base, Castillo down to second.
This is becoming far too interesting. Ninth inning was supposed to be routine with the 5-run lead. It's turned into anything but.
The Rangers have scored the last 7 runs, but that's string in jeopardy. Deeds a strikeout victim in the 8th against Holland in his only at-bat. The left-handed hitting outfielder waits. From the stretch, Daigle fires, and he catches the outside corner belt high and gets a strike call from Brian Gorman. It is 0-1. Tomorrow we're on the air again at 3 o'clock Texas time. Rangers and Dodgers for the first time this spring. Kevin Millwood, unscored upon in 5 innings, goes against Claudio Vargas. And that game will be on the Fan. 0-1. Line drive to third. Speared by Metcalf. Shoulder high with the backhand toward the line. Excellent play by Travis Metcalf. He's made 1 in each direction today.
Both here in the 9th. Started the inning by going to his left and then spinning 360 degrees before throwing out the leadoff hitter Reed Johnson, and leaps the other way to rob Doug Deeds of at least 2 run bases.
Yeah, that was going to possibly clear them all off. So it's still 7-2. The bases are still loaded. There are 2 outs. And here's Andres Blanco, who will bat from the left side against Daigle and potentially make the 27th out. The big right-hander set at the letters. Kicks and comes home, and he misses outside. It's ball 1. Another reminder, Tuesday, the first webcast of the spring with John Blake at the mic, the former voice of the Georgetown Hoyas. Rangers and Giants on Tuesday, and you can listen for free on TexasRangers.com. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled off to the left side. Make it 1-1. That will be the first webcast, but not the last There will also be one when the Rangers play the Seattle Mariners on Thursday in Peoria. 2 webcasts this week, and then a few webcasts each week till the end of spring training.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to listen in, but since it's on the web, I'll be able to hear John Blake from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Look forward to it.
1-1 pitch. There's a high bounding ball to second. Vizquel's got it, fires to first, and the ball game's over. So Daigle puts out the fire. The Cubs don't score in the ninth. No runs on 2 hits. They leave them loaded. The Rangers win it by the score of 7-2, and we'll be back with the totals right after this on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
I've had trouble with Angel trying to finish high school. He's always struggled through even elementary. It would be frustrating because sometimes I would talk to him and he wouldn't even turn around and look at me. I would ask him, so you're going to school today, right? He would say, yeah. And then later during the day, I would get a phone call saying he wasn't in class. He dropped off for a whole month. There's a time that I just gave up. I just decided, you know what, I don't know what to do with you. I mean, I pretty much have done everything to try to get you back to school. You know, you feel that maybe you're not a good parent, or maybe you don't know how to fix the problem. I really didn't have many people to look to but myself. Now I think that it's gotten a lot better. Now I at least have hope that he'll finish high school. I can't give up. He's still my son, you know. I can't give up.
Give your teen the boost they need to graduate. Call 1-877-4A-KID or join us at boostup.org for tips and advice. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
The Predator hangs miles above hostile territory. For 24 hours at a stretch, it hunts for roadside bombs, the weapons of choice for terrorists. And then it strikes upon command. Tom Donovan pilots the Predator, but controls the aircraft from roughly 7,000 miles away, operating near Las Vegas. Flying the Predator is Captain Donovan's part-time job in the Air Force Reserve. He can serve his country while still working full-time as a commercial airline pilot. The Air Force Reserve. Stationed locally, serving globally.
The SHARE Student Exchange Program needs loving families to host foreign high school students for the coming school year. For information on how to volunteer, call today, 1-800-941-3738.
Well, the Rangers now have won 5 of their last 6 games as they beat the Cubs today 7-2. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 6 left. The Cubs 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and 8 left. Derek Holland, the winning pitcher, and Chad Fox, the loser. The game took 2 hours and 58 minutes before a crowd of 11,082. And the Rangers' strong pitching continues. They have gone through the rotation this week in extremely fine fashion, beginning with Kevin Millwood's go on Wednesday in a 5-3 win against the Kansas City Royals. The Rangers, for the 4th time in the last 5 games, allow 3 runs or fewer. And, you know, it's early in spring training, but it sure is nicer to see the pitchers pitching well than the reverse, and it is tough to pitch out here in the Cactus League under any circumstances.
Yeah, and there were 4 relief pitchers in back of Matt Harrison, who went the first 3. And Francisco, Jennings, Holland, and Daigle all managed not to be scored on. In Holland's case, he didn't finish the game. He went 2 1/3, had a chance to finish out the ninth, but couldn't get that done. But unscored on, and Ron Washington said after the first exhibition win, the thing he liked the most was 6 pitchers, each worked a scoreless inning. So continue to spread some of that effective relief pitching around again today.
And a real clutch effort by the Ranger pitchers, or you could look at it as bad clutch hitting by the Cubs. But the Cubs with men in scoring position today were 0 for 8. So the Rangers improved their record to 7-4, while the Cubs fall to 5-8. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow. Dave is off to join the world of basketball. Great working with you, partner. We'll see you in Frisco on the 3rd of April.
Look forward to it. Can't wait.
In the meantime, I've got Tom Grieve in the booth tomorrow and Steve Busby the rest of the spring. Kevin Millwood on the mound for the Rangers tomorrow against Claudio Vargas of the Los Angeles Dodgers. The game will begin at 3 o'clock Central Time. We certainly hope you will join us for that. For our engineer here in Arizona, Julio Alvarado. Our engineer in Texas, Ted Nichols-Payne. And for Dave Barnett, I'm Eric Nadel. Thanks again for listening. The final, once again, the Rangers 7 and the Cubs 2. Marlon Byrd, the game-winning hit, and Greg Golson, a grand slam home run. Until tomorrow, so long, everybody.
Today's spring training game on the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network has been presented by Farmers Insurance, Bluebell Ice Cream, Blue Diamond Almonds, and Geico Insurance. Thank you for listening to the KRLD Texas Rangers Radio Network.
Attention Texas Rangers affiliates, the following is a closed circuit feed. The following is not for broadcast at this time. Roll those tapes. Here comes Eric with your recap and your promo.
In 3, 2, 1. Marlon Byrd broke a 2-2 tie with a go-ahead single in the 8th inning, and Greg Golson added a grand slam in the 9th as the Rangers rolled over the Chicago Cubs 7-2 in Mesa on Sunday afternoon. There was a big crowd of over 11,000 on hand, and they saw some excellent Ranger pitching again as the Rangers won for the 5th time in 6 ball games and upped their record to 7-4 on the spring. Matt Harrison went the first 3 innings, allowed the only 2 runs. The winner in relief was Derek Holland, who went 2 1/3. Frank Francisco, Jason Jennings, and Casey Daigle also threw scoreless ball. It was 7 runs, 7 hits for the Rangers, 2 runs on 8 hits for the Cubs. The Rangers take on the Dodgers on Monday afternoon. This is Eric Nadel in Mesa for the Texas State Network. This is Eric Nadel in Mesa for News Radio 1080 KRLD. 3, 2, 1. This is Eric Nadel in Mesa for 105.3 The Fan. Okay, so for the network, you want a bunch of, you just need one. We got a game tomorrow. All right, 3, 2, 1. The Rangers and Dodgers go at it today in Surprise. Hi, everybody. This is Eric Nadel inviting you to join Steve. No, it's Tom Grieve and me. Steve Buzzy and me. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. It's the Rangers and Dodgers from Surprise Stadium this afternoon. Hello there, everybody. This is Eric Nadel inviting you to join Tom Grieve and me. Rangers and Dodgers at 3 today, right here on the Texas Rangers Radio Network.
And stations, that concludes your closed circuit feed airtime for next broadcast. That's tomorrow, 3 o'clock Central Daylight Time, same channel.